Comcast Sportsnet, part of the NBC Sports Group.
As spring training winds down, the regulars will get their final tune-ups in preparation for the next 6 months and beyond. The Phillies will depend on the talents of Cole Hamels, who has been one of the best pitchers in baseball since his arrival with the big club in 2006. The southpaw has given the staff a strong presence in the middle of a rotation that is one of the best in baseball. Today, he'll face the Rays, the team he dominated in the 2008 World Series. Games down here in Florida before the Phillies head back north to Citizens Bank Park for the on-deck series. And the fans coming into the ballpark today will see, well, I guess you could say a rematch of the 2008 World Series as the Phillies welcome in the Tampa Bay Rays. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy along with Chris Wheeler. Happy to be with you today from Clearwater, Florida. We have 2 games left down here at Bright House Field and 2 more on the road. And today, Cole Hamels will make the start. It's his final Florida starts.
Well, a lot of ifs, ands, and buts this spring, but not with Cole Hamels, Tom. He's part of a tremendous starting rotation. The Phillies will run out there starting next week in Pittsburgh, and Cole Hamels has had a real good spring. He had a game against the Pirates the other day here in this ballpark. Good stuff. Cole Hamels using his cutter well. That's an outstanding changeup. That's his #1 pitch, but the cutter has really turned his career around to the point now where he is a 3-pitch pitcher. But you see the changeup one after another there for his out pitch. As far as strikeouts go, this is what he's done in spring training. Throw out the stats. Who cares? Because you leave them here anyway, whether they're good or bad. What you look for to see if Cole Hamels is healthy, and he is. Now, everybody knows the National League East is a lot better, at least on paper this year. And Cole talked about the opposition the Phillies are going to face.
I think we're still a very good team. We're going to have a lot of challenging games, but I think we do have the sort of veteran leadership and the experience to overcome, I guess, this supposed new talent that's coming into the league. And so it's just, going out there and obviously doing everything we can day in and day out for that long grind. But we're fairly confident that we can go out and get the job done. And we've been able to do it before, so I think we're just going to go out and take it one game at a time.
Sure, the Rays find it hard to believe this guy is better now than he was when he faced him in the World Series, Tom, but he is.
Well, the Tampa Bay Rays may be better now than they were back in 2008 when they went to the World Series. They are an outstanding team.
They really are. They have everything. They have really, really good starting pitching. A lot of it is very young. They rebuilt their bullpen last year, and they're very happy with it. A team that got into postseason play last year, winning the American League wild card on an exciting home run by Longoria in the last game of the season. Joe Madden was the American League Manager of the Year. The guy we're going to see today, Jeremy Hellickson, the American League Rookie of the Year. And look what they were able to do during the month of September. Just amazing. The first team to do that, be that far back in the month of September and get into postseason play.
And they talk about depth. This Rays team has depth not only in the big leagues, but also down in the minor leagues. So it will be Hellickson on the mound for the Tampa Bay Rays. Meanwhile, Cole Hamels will make his final Florida start, his 6th overall for the Phils this spring. Not too far for the Rays fans to come here to Bright House Field to see kind of a rematch of the 2008 World Series. That guy struggled in the 2008 World Series, but hasn't struggled since. The lineup's in first pitch when we return. Phillies baseball is brought to you by your local Tri-State Toyota dealers. Go Phillies, go Toyota, moving forward. By Citizens Bank, we're for homes. Talk to us today about how we can help guide you to the loan that's right for you. And by Xfinity, only from Comcast, the official HD triple play provider of the Phillies. Today's national anthem here at Bright House Field. Second to last home game for the Phillies down here in Clearwater. Tomorrow they'll be up in Tampa, Saturday back home, and then Sunday in Orlando before they head back to Citizens Bank Park. For the first time this year, the Tampa Bay Rays have ventured up to Clearwater for a spring training game. The Phillies have been down in Port Charlotte before, and the fans here getting a chance to see Jim Thome play first. What a kick for that youngster, having a conversation with Big Jim before he left the field. And he went around the mound. He didn't go on the mound. He went around the mound. Let's take a look at the Rays starting lineup for this afternoon's ball game. It's brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Leading it off at center field is Desmond Jennings. Jeff Kempitcher's now with Tampa Bay. He's the DH today. Evan Longoria is over at third base. He'll bat third. Then Ben Zobrist and Carlos Pena. Jose Molina will be the everyday catcher for Tampa Bay. He'll bat sixth. And the bottom third of Joyce Rodriguez and Elliott Johnson. The Rays are using the DH this afternoon. The Phillies are not. Cole Hamels will get a chance to hit, and Cole Hamels getting a chance to make his sixth start.
Spring training numbers on Cole Hamels. Had a little bit of a rocky inning or two during the spring, but for the most part he's been just fine. And number one, he's healthy, using all his pitches. He really had a good changeup in the game against the Pirates recently. His cutter's outstanding, so he's ready to go. Just a little tune-up out here today, and he will pitch one other game, of course, and then pitch in the home opener against the Miami Marlins.
Pretty nice honor for Cole Hamels to get the starting nod from Charlie Manuel and Rich Doobie. And we're down to the nitty-gritty. Charlie is trying to formulate his final roster. And there are a few spots that are still up for grabs, which we'll talk about during the course of this afternoon's ball game. Joe Madden has sort of pared his roster down. He knows who his five starters are. He knows what his bullpen is looking like, and he knows that Desmond Jennings, who's leading it off, will be his center fielder to begin the year, because B.J. Upton is out with a back injury. So Jennings is ready to start things off for the Rays against Cole Hamels.
Yeah, Jennings and Upton had a collision in the outfield a few weeks ago. Jennings missed some time, and then Upton, as Tom just mentioned, he has not recovered enough to start the season on time.
Well, the first pitch of the day is outside, so we're underway. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Jennings is a former 10th round selection. He's now 25 years old. A wonderful talent. Grounds that one to third. Tough play for Polanco, who was in. Away. So one gone here in the top of the first. Our Toyota scoreboard for today. That's right. That is a regular season game. The second one over in Japan in Oakland behind Bartolo Colon. Upend Seattle 4-1. Ichiro had 4 hits yesterday. He was 0 for 4 today for the Seattle Mariners. But how about Bartolo Colon? He didn't give up his first run until the 7th inning.
Pretty amazing. He did a decent job for the Yankees last year, but you know, he's one of those guys. We saw him in spring training quite a bit. He's nowhere near the pitcher he was before, but you know, he's figured it out how to do it in another way.
And Yonis Cespedes had his first major league home run as Jeff Kempitcher is the hitter. He takes low 1-1. It was kind of neat looking at Yonis running around the bases wearing the number 52. And Yonis obviously defected from Cuba. It's the same number worn by Jose Contreras. Close friends, and Cespedes is wearing the 52 in honor of Jose Contreras.
We had a little bullpen session with Rich Doobie this morning, and you know, they would really like to have Contreras be part of their bullpen.
1-2 the count to Jeff Kempitcher. Grounder softly hit to second base. Ty Wigginton's there for Freddie Galvis. 2 outs. New double play combination this afternoon for the Phillies. Wigginton's at second behind Hamels, and Pete Orr is over at shortstop. Some folks think that second base is Wigginton's best position, but he's going to be all over the place. And Pete Orr is trying to win a roster spot. He's there today because Jimmy Rollins made the trip to Fort Myers yesterday, and Jimmy is off today. Totally off.
Yeah.
Here's Evan Longoria, and he takes outside.
He'll do that once in a while. Just give a guy a personal day, where you say, you know, you're going to play here, here, and then we don't even want to see you that day, and they really appreciate that.
1 ball, 1 strike to count to Longoria. Longoria this spring 5 for 26, a 192 average. For his career, 113 home runs. He has twice been over the 100 RBI mark.
Doesn't seem that long ago we were going through a spring training with Longoria where he's really playing well. but no way he was going to start the season with him. And they were talking about, well, maybe they're not going to start his clock on time or early. But he forced his way into the major leagues real fast that year.
And Joe Madden is happy that he forced his way into the major leagues.
Boy, he hits way back in the box. A very unusual stance that works for him.
Well, and that curveball certainly worked for Cole Hamels. 1, 2, 3 go the Rays. Beautiful start for Hamels. We go to the bottom of the first. Well, it's a very relaxed Charlie Manuel. Soak it in today's ball game here at Bright House Field. Let's take a look at his starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Leading it off at shortstop is Pete Orr. Batting second is Placido Polanco. Hunter Pence is in right field. He'll hit third. Jim Thome back out there at first base. He'll bat cleanup. Shane Victorino hits fifth. Lance Nix is in left field. He'll bat sixth. Ty Wigginton bats seventh. Ryan Schneider hits eighth. And then Cole Hamels will get his first swings of the spring. And they'll face the American League Rookie of the Year, Jeremy Hellickson, a 24-year-old from Des Moines, Iowa.
Numbers aren't real great in spring training. He had a bad outing, gave up, 10 or 11 runs in one game. A lot more hits than innings pitched, but they have a pretty good feel for what they have. Now, you're dealing with a guy in his second year. Talk about it all the time. Major league pitchers in their second year, you really learn a lot about them. But as Tom mentioned, this guy's coming off Rookie of the Year honors. So, obviously, they think he's pretty good. Good fastball, has a lot of different out pitches, and had a good season for them last year, enough to be the Rookie of the Year.
Former fourth-round selection in 2005, 6'1", 185 pounds. He's part of a rotation that includes David Price, Matt Moore, Jeff Neiman, and James Shields, who struck out 12 the other day in a minor league game.
With Shields and Price, those guys are really good.
Here's Pete Orr. He'll lead things off. Pete 14 for 45 this spring. He's been swinging the bat well lately. He takes a strike. It's 0-1.
Well, all of a sudden he's opened their eyes by making some plays at shortstop. I don't know that he'd still be, maybe he'd still be here, maybe he wouldn't, but he's getting more time because they need somebody to play shortstop as a utility infielder with Michael Martinez out for a period of time.
Particularly if Freddie Galvis is going to be the everyday second baseman.
Right.
1-1 the count to Orr.
And we don't know, but you would surmise that if things were the way you want them, Galvis wouldn't even be here. He'd be a AAA playing shortstop. So you'd still need a guy to play shortstop as your utility guy.
Charlie Manuel is known to call Pete Orr Iron Orr when he's hitting the ball well, and then Pig Iron when he's not.
Yeah. And Pete Orr takes that well because he's that kind of person.
2-2 the count.
He is a guy can really hit right-handers. He's never hit left-handers much. He doesn't have a whole lot of power, but he can run, and he can stretch singles into doubles.
Cues one off the end of the bat. It's spinning. You better run it out.
Yeah.
And he does, but it stays foul.
That's what he saw at the last second. He took a look down there and thought, that maybe may come fair.
Pete Orr, originally the property of the Atlanta Braves. That's when we first saw him. Then made his way to Washington. Spent a year in the minor leagues before the Phillies picked him up last year. And he made the team out of spring training. Part of the reason why he made the team because he kept peppering the right center field gap. a season ago.
That's what he is. He's an alley's hitter.
He lives just north of Toronto. He hits that one sharply, but it's caught by Sean Rodriguez. One away, so Hellickson gets the first out. Here's Placido Polanco. Talk about a guy that's having a good spring. You hope that it just carries over to the start of the regular season. It's Polanco. He's only played in now 10 games because they were nursing him back from the abdomen injury he had in the offseason. But he's got a pretty good swing going right now.
And then he hurt his finger and missed another week after that.
Dan Iasonia is behind the plate this afternoon. Phil Cuzzy's over at first. Mark Carlson is at second. And Mark Lalo is around at third. Fouls it away. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Polanco has driven in 5 so far this spring. Remember last year in April he was the best hitter in the National League in April a season ago, and everybody thought, all right, this is a sign of things to come, but he was just banged up most of the year. Down and away.
He really likes his breaking stuff. Sliders, curveballs. Another one.
Well, he's part of a young bushel of pitchers that the Rays have, not only in the major leagues, but also down in the minors. They have Matt Moore, who everybody was introduced to last year during the postseason, who's part of their rotation this year. And even their veterans, you know, we can call David Price a veteran. He's not old. The same with Shields. He's not old. But they also have down in the minor leagues Chris Archer, Tim Beckham, Ak-Chu Lee. I mean, they've got pitchers all over the place that could eventually help the team. See their rotation.
Yeah, there's that. And you see Moore only 1-0, as Tom mentioned. He really opened eyes for Joe Madden and all of Major League Baseball the way he pitched in postseason.
Started the first game of the playoffs.
Yep. Well, they didn't have time to set their rotation up.
Rodriguez charges on the soft ground ball.
When you figure what, they tied a game with 2 outs in the 9th inning. They would have eliminated them in the last day of the season, and then they went into extra innings and won it on Longoria's homer.
So 2 outs now for Hunter Pence.
Those are those 2 games that ended within, minutes of each other. The other one being the Baltimore Red Sox game. Elimination. Phillies had about, 20 minutes before that eliminated the Braves. That was some final day. Final night.
See the conditions today, a little overcast.
Yeah, it's only about 82 or 83. It was a perfect day.
Here's Hunter Pence with 17 hits this spring. And he launches one deep down the left field line. Will it stay fair? I don't know how you can tell. It's a foul ball. That was a shot. That went out of the ballpark.
Yeah, the poles aren't real high here. It bounced out there by that bullpen, what do they call it, the bullpen grill.
Did it go down the stairs?
It may have.
Yeah, I don't know how, if you're an umpire, you can tell whether that's fair or foul. There it landed. Okay, it went right off the facing of the bullpen grill.
They have to guess a little bit too with the poles low like this. That one would have been over foul poles in the big leagues.
1 ball and 1 strike to count. Hunter had one of those batting practices the other day where he was launching one after another out of the ballpark, and he hit one to center. He said, "Did that go out?" And somebody said, "No, one hopped it." There's a bullet deep to left field and off the base of the wall. He may only get 1 out of it. He will. The ball was hit so hard and played easily by Matt Joyce. It's a 2-out single.
Yeah, the difference in that one and the one that was hit so far was topspin. He just crushes this thing, gets on top of it. Ball spinning like crazy coming down. Little slider or cut fastball. Tom described it, right off the Delco's cheesesteak sign out there, and on 1 hop back to him.
So Joyce makes a nice play to get the throw in. And now with 2 outs, here's Jim Thome. You kind of get the feeling that if the body responds, Thome is definitely going to see some time, some extra time over at first base. And so far, so good with the body.
Right. They would then be comfortable in using him and hope you could get a lead and then get him out of there for a little better defense.
See, Thome last year 25 home runs, or 2 years ago I should say 25 home runs. Last year 15. He also moved from Minnesota to Cleveland during the year. Inside.
Those Molinas do like to throw.
They do.
All of them.
How about Jose, for the first time in his career, is going to be the starting catcher at the age of 36.
It'll be interesting to see how much they can get out of him because he's a pretty good receiver, but he's never been a #1 guy. Perfect pitch to throw on. You can kind of hide behind that left-handed hitter, and the pitch is inside like that with a cutter, momentum going that way. Good throw, good pitch to snap a throw off and surprise a base runner.
1 ball, 1 strike the count. It's a tough pitch for a left-hander.
Got Jose, and then Yadier, and then Benji. The 3 Molinas. Inside, 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 and then away with a changeup.
I don't think Benji's playing anywhere right now.
I haven't heard of him playing anywhere. Yeah.
Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Thome will begin the season with 604 home runs. If you're a fan, you sit there and say, well, you're watching one of the greatest home run hitters of this generation.
Yep, and lucky enough to watch him in your uniform 2 tours of duty.
Got a piece of it to stay alive.
He due to pop one down here.
Oh.
You don't want to leave him down here. But he's been close, but he's hit a lot of top spinners to the alleys in right center and left center.
I think today is the perfect condition to do it. The breeze going out a little bit to right center.
Yeah, the way this guy's throwing these breaking balls up there, he may just jump on one.
See the 600 home run club. Thome right behind Sammy Sosa and Alex Rodriguez.
His exclusive company.
A lot of questions about some of those guys on that list, though. Not as much with Thome. Ball's hit to right field. It's not like he broke his bat. The catch is made by Zobrist, and the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. We go to the second. Rays nothing, Phils nothing. Four, 5, and 6 due up for the Tampa Bay Rays. Ben Zobrist, Carlos Pena, Jose Molina against Phillies left-hander Cole Hamels, who threw just 10 pitches in the first. Tired this side in order. You can throw 10 pitches or less to get through an inning.
And Hamels normally cannot do that because they foul so many pitches off. Less than they used to because you don't throw all those high fastballs away. He has that new pitch, a cutter. He's able to do some things. When he just threw that high fastball out of way, they just kept leaning out, foul, 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 and his pitch count would go up a lot quicker.
This guy has been a very good player for the Tampa Bay Rays, Ben Zobrist. He's now 30 years old. And he takes outside. 6 seasons with Tampa, 72 home runs, and he could play the outfield or play the infield.
Yeah, he is a good player. He was part of that team the Phillies faced in the World Series.
Takes outside, 2-0. Last year he played 133 games at second base and 38 games in right field. Well, today he's in right field. See the difference from one year to the other. 10 more home runs a year ago.
A hard line drive out in the middle of that unbelievable top of the 9th inning. Bullet to right field.
I think everybody's heart stopped a little bit. Off the end of the bat, Pence coming on, makes the catch. Well, because the Phillies and the Rays were in the 08 World Series, you know that they both have been successful. And more on that, here's Greg Murphy.
Well, that's right, Tom. When you stop to think about the best teams in Major League Baseball, maybe Tampa doesn't jump immediately to your mind, but you got to remember 3 of the last 5 years this team has been in the postseason. And take a look at this in terms of regular season. Since 2008, the Tampa Rays have the 4th best record in all of baseball behind the New York Yankees, Philadelphia, and the Boston Red Sox. And guys, I have to believe you take a look at the roster and what they've been able to put together for this season, we'll be right back in the mix again.
Yeah, and Murph, I think last year with the way they revamped their bullpen is such a credit to Joe Madden and what he was able to do with that team. It's remarkable.
It really is. They missed the playoffs 3 years ago and then back in it the last 2 years. But it was a whole different look last year in terms of their pitching staff. And it certainly worked for them. And I think they're pretty happy with where they are right now.
Well, this guy was not part of last year's team, but he was part of the 08 team. It's Carlos Pena, and he's in the hole, no balls and 2 strikes.
Well, you have to give them so much credit for what they're able to do with their economics. The first 3 teams right there have a lot more to work with as far as money goes, and the Rays do and they're not getting that #1 overall pick anymore the way they used to.
Pena taps it foul.
For years they were getting really high draft picks because they weren't very good, and now they're real good, so they're drafted low, but their organization, they must do a lot of things well.
Well, the other thing, too, compared to the other 3 teams, including the Phillies, they don't draw as well as those 3 teams.
Their economics are just not even close, and yet they're able to do what they do.
Breaking ball in the dirt, 1-2. They've been trying to put together plans for a new stadium in downtown St. Petersburg or in that area. But the plan to put a stadium where Al Lang Stadium is, their former spring training home, well, that broke up a couple seasons ago.
That would have been nice. Now they're back with some talk about finding a home somewhere over in Tampa, which would make a lot of sense to some people. Who knows? That's their business, but they need to do something to improve their revenues, and it's not just attendance, and everybody knows what it is. It's suites and those kind of things.
Well, Cole Hamels retired the side in order in the first, and every time the Phillies do that, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by the Xfinity HD Triple Play, your complete lineup for digital TV, lightning fast internet, and home phone. Jose Molina leads is the number 6 hitter, and he rips the first pitch to center. Victorino ventures back. Boy, another easy inning for Cole Hamels. 6 up, 6 down here at the top of the second. We go to the bottom of the second. The Rays nothing and the Phillies nothing. Well, you know by now that the Phillies home opener on the 9th of April is sold out, but there are tickets still available for many games during the course of the season, including the opening homestand Thursday, April 12th against the Marlins at 7:05. It's a Hatfield Dollar Dog Night. There's seats available. Plus Friday the 13th at 7:05. The Mets are in town, so you get a chance to kick off the first weekend series of the season. Go to Phillies.com to make your purchase today. Chase Utley hanging out with Charlie Manuel, continuing to rehab his knee, get himself back with the big club. It's interesting to see what the Phillies do when they head north. Will Chase stay here or go with the club? Most likely, like last year, he'll go with the club. But we'll see.
Yeah, it will be interesting. You know, the Phillies have opened at home for so many years. This year on the road, and you wonder, you know, did he go with the Phillies last year to be there for opening day at home? Or one thing about news about Chase, we'll let you know when we find out, because we don't know anything before time. That's for sure.
There's Scott Posednik who's hoping to hear some news as to whether he will go north with the club.
Yeah, has he got a telex in his ear right there or something? Yeah, I agree, says Scott. Yeah, I'd like to know. Saw somebody down the crowd today with a White Sox Posednik jersey.
Shane Victorino leads it off, and he takes up high. Although we don't know this for sure, there seems to be thoughts that there's a battle between Posednik and Pierre for one of the final roster spots. And I think Juan Pierre needs to know by tomorrow whether he is going to make the major league team or not. It's part of his contract, or he can opt out. And we do know that this guy will be the everyday center fielder right here, Shane Victorino. 15 hits and 56 at bats this spring. Jim Thome made a really nice play on Victorino during batting practice today when he was taking ground balls. So Shane was trying to spray some balls over to him. Then he laid down a bunt. He goes, here, see if you can get that one.
Yeah,
he was all the way back at the edge of the infield dirt. 2-2 the count.
There's the old breaking ball behind in the count, and that's a sign of a guy who can pitch a little bit. Is able to do those kind of things. It's also a veteran catcher. There's a changeup. 2-2. You know, never 2-2 changeups are, because then you get into that trap where you go to 3-2. You almost have to throw a fastball. Don't have to, but you know, many times that's what it entails.
There you go, the fastball that's poked towards shortstop. Rodriguez has been busy. What away. So Hellickson gets the first out here in the second.
But
Lance Nix.
A veteran catcher will try to, you know, maybe in spring training do things you wouldn't necessarily do during the season, but to call 2-1 breaking balls because he wants to find out what the guy can do when it counts. Can I call that pitch, and is he confident to throw it there that we aren't going to get hurt and all of a sudden go to 3-1?
Lance Nix takes low. It's 1-0. We have seen a lot of breaking balls, though, from him in these first two innings.
That's one thing I noticed right out of the chute, that he's throwing curve and slider quite a bit. And changeup. Fastball there. You don't have radar, so you don't know how hard he throws.
Looking at the Rays media guide, do you know, Wheels, that Jeremy Hellickson is the only Iowa-born player in Rays history?
I didn't know that. He's a Hawkeye.
On the inside corner, it's 1-2. Last year, he won the American League Rookie of the Year. He won it handedly. He had 17 first-place votes. A lot of folks thought that Mark Trumbo or Ivan Nova of the Yankees would be considered even more than they were. Trumbo had 63 points for second place. And it's that kind of pitching right there that won him the American League Rookie of the Year, and there are two outs. Hellickson last year held the opposition to a .210 average. Look at some of the names that are on the list with him. The great Al Downing, Jim Bibby, Tom Gordon when he was a starter. Lowest opponent's batting average for a rookie in the last 50 years.
Looks like he throws everything out of the same slot, too, which can be a problem for hitters.
Ty Wigginton is the hitter. There's a fly ball to right center field. And Desmond Jennings is there. So Hamels had an easy second, and Hellickson has an easy second. We've completed our first two here at Bright House Field, and the Phillies will go back to work. The Cubs will come into town Friday, April 27th for the start of a 4-game series. 3 night games, and then the Sunday game is the Fanatics' birthday. It's a Citizens Bank Fanatics birthday party, a free bank for fans 14 and under. Go to Phillies.com to purchase your tickets.
Talking about famous pitchers from Iowa, and the most famous has to be Bob Feller. Well, you should never use the word has, but he has to be.
I would agree with you on that one.
Van Meter, maybe,
yeah,
Iowa?
The heater from Van Meter.
Right.
Bullet Bob, Rapid Rob.
Rapid Robert Feller was well into his 90s, right, when he died?
92
recently?
years old
Yeah.
in December of 2010 when he passed away.
I mean, he used to play in old-timers games and pitch in them.
Well, when I was in the minor leagues in Trenton, he used to throw batting practice.
It's really competitive.
In an Indians uniform.
Right, he was so competitive.
Matt Joyce leads it off and takes a strike.
Pitched a lot of complete games, and was one of those guys that they say legitimately threw 95 to 100.
He won 266 games, Bob Feller did, but his major league career was interrupted because of the war.
Right, he had no hitters, one hitters. Guy was tremendous.
"36 complete games in 1946. He missed 3 years because of military service. Swing and a miss by Joyce. It's 1-2.
Well, some of those players, like Ted Williams missed so many years. Willie Mays missed years because, served in the military.
Well, if you averaged out Feller's years missed, he was averaging 23 wins per year leading up to the 42 season when he missed. So, if you think about that, that's an additional almost 70 wins that could add to his total. 2-2 the count to Matt Joyce, left fielder today. Last year was his first year as an everyday starter. And a called strike 3. I think Joyce was looking for a changeup, and he got a pitch at the knees that wasn't a changeup. Second strikeout.
When you look for a 3-2 changeup, you're going to drag the bat back a lot of times.
Well, whatever he was looking for, he didn't get. He was frozen, unless he thought it was low.
Is that a cutter?
It was a cutter. So 1 out. Here's Sean Rodriguez. Hamels had a couple of starts this spring, just talking to Rich Doobie about his outings, where he was working on not pitches, but location. He had a start in Dunedin, where I'm telling you his cutter was outstanding, but he just wasn't getting the call from the home plate umpire. Now, whether it was off an inch or two, he was still trying to get the inner half of the plate. So Rich Doobie said that's why the outing looked so odd, and it looked like he was struggling, but he was basically just throwing cutters.
I heard from people that were at that game that day, there were some fans really yelling at the umpire that day, too.
They were. Some of them even forgot to press their cough button.
Right.
1-2 the count.
The plate has two sides. Something like that.
If you looked at the radar gun in Dunedin, it was showing 88, 87, 89, 90 once or twice, and you're looking at it thinking, well, Hamill's fastball is higher than that, but they're all cutters.
Right.
That's a good spot there, and that one just missed. It's 2-2.
Yeah, but you talk about a pitch that sets up your best pitch. That does right there. Now, even though it's 2-2, they can go back with changeup if they want.
Ground ball to third. Backing up on it, Polanco. He has enough on the throw for the second out. Now they're expecting one of their largest crowds of the afternoon here today at Bright House Field.
Yeah, this season's been unbelievable with attendance again. And talking to John Timberlake, director of operations down here for the Threshers, that he said this could really be a big one. Combination of all these Phillies fans, plus there's a lot of Rays interest, obviously, in this area, and this is one chance to see them play here.
Those blankets that are usually thrown down on the grass, I mean, they're probably being shared by families today. Just
they're
elbow to many spots.
Yeah, they're elbow to elbow out there today.
Elliott Johnson has the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Johnson hit a .194 last year for the Rays. This year in spring training, hitting .184. That one's hit hard. Nice play by Polanco. Last year's Gold Glove winner in the National League makes a Gold Glove play over on the hot quarter. And Cole Hamels has faced 9 so far in this ball game. He's retired all 9 batters. To you by Citizens Bank. We're for homes. Talk to us today about how we can help guide you to the loan that's right for you. And by Thomas Jefferson University Hospital. Call 1-800-JEFF now for an appointment. Scoreless game as we go to the bottom of the third. I love the Rays.
Well, you should.
They should if they're in this area.
Darn right. They're really a good team.
And by the way, the Houston Astros will get a chance to play the Rays in the American League next year. But this year, they'll be at Citizens Bank Park one last time. Monday, May 14th, Tuesday the 15th. The 15th is a Citizens Bank Business Person Special. Tickets are going fast. Order tickets now by going to Phillies.com.
Yeah, the Rays will be coming to Philadelphia in, the third week of June this year?
Still one of my favorite stories was when the Phillies played them in the World Series and Jason Worth was on second base. And Jason Bartlett said, "Man, how do you play here? It's really loud."
Yeah. It was during that World Series was just amazing.
Brian Schneider leads it off and takes outside. It's 1-0. Brian's 5 for 23. Round to right side. Carlos Pena has it, and Hellickson's there to cover. Well, neither pitcher is allowing too much this afternoon.
These two good pitchers out here today. You know, Cole Hamels established. You can see why Hellickson so good last year in his rookie year. He had unbelievable confidence in his off-speed stuff to throw it at any time. And you know, like I said, we don't know what his fastball is, but it looks like he has more than enough to use it and set up everything else.
Well, and one thing Joe Maddon said is that he's got a great pulse, you know, which means he doesn't get rattled whatsoever.
They talk in this sport about a guy has a good face. You know, I've heard that. In fact, they use that in Moneyball. I love that when the scouts are sitting around talking about the guy. I don't like his face. Well, there's something to be said about that on the way they react when they're out there, and their expressions or non-expressions.
Cole Hamels drills one through the middle, a base hit.
They have a couple guys on this staff that can really hit. Lee and Hamels. Hellickson says, well, I don't have to use all my off speed. Oh, he did. He threw a cutter or a slider to him, and he still hit it. Boy, that's a nice looking swing right there.
Sure is.
Cole Hamels become a heck of a golfer, too. He's really worked at and getting much better. You get the feeling he could play anything. You know, he's just a natural athlete.
Oh, he's aboard for Pete Orr. Orr lined out to short his first time up. They won't hold Hamels on. He has swiped the bag before. Swing and a miss and an off-speed pitch, 0-1.
There you go. First pitch, left-handed hitter looking to hook a fastball in the hole, and they go off speed and get him way out in front.
What are your thoughts, Wheels? Does Pete Orr have a chance to make the club?
Keeps making those plays at shortstop like he is, because in my opinion that's why he's getting this long look right now, all of a sudden playing at that position, because they have to find somebody to play short.
Now the other thought, not that Pete wants to go down to AAA, but with Galvis here, they're going to need somebody to play shortstop even at Lehigh Valley and be ready if there's a need to bring somebody up. I mean, think about it. The utility players for the Phillies had over 500 at bats the last couple of years. That's a lot of at bats. Swing and a miss, 2-2.
Boy, I love this guy's arm angle. He's right in the, you know, it looks like he's right in the same slot with everything. And as a hitter, it can really be tough to pick up stuff. They're not getting good swings at him.
That one's to left field. Here comes Joyce. It'll hang up there for him.
All those off-speed pitches to Pete Orr. Now he's late on a fastball. Even though he hit it hard, and he's hit two balls hard the other way, you're going to be a little bit late when a guy can get his breaking stuff over the way that this young kid does.
Well, now 2 gone for Placido Polanco. He grounded out to shortstop his first time up. So 2 hits overall in this game, both by the Phillies, one by Cole Hamels. Not much else through the first 3. Hardest hit ball today was the single by Pence.
There's another hitter they're starting off speed, because major league hitters, you know, I think the really good ones, they want to hit a fastball quick. At least they should. And in this case, Molina is really working on this guy starting hitters with something off speed to keep them off balance. That's outside.
Sure is. Well, it's called a strike, so it's 0-2 to Polanco.
See Polanco move up in the box a little bit. He's one of those guys that'll do that behind in the count, anticipating something off speed, and you know, and looking for it.
He got a breaking ball and he popped it foul. It remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. You know, the Rays this spring, they haven't had a particularly good win-loss record. They're 7-15. Phillies are 11-13. They have a couple ties too. But Joe Maddon, his team's closing well. They've had some pretty good pitching performances, not only by Shields down in the minor leagues, David Price yesterday. And it's 2-2. In fact, Shields will be the opening day starter for Tampa. And they'll open up in New York against the Yankees on the 6th of April. Or excuse me, here in Tampa. I was looking at their schedule, and the blue I thought would be the road, but it's the home.
Right.
And then they go to Detroit and then Boston. How about 9 games on the road after 3 games at home to start the season?
And you start with the Yankees.
Yeah, Yankees, Detroit, Boston, and Toronto. 3-2 the count.
End of August. The political convention will be down here. The Republican National Convention will be in Tampa at the end of August. I don't know whether that's going to get them out of town.
Well, it will. They're out of town from the 27th till the 2nd of September. That one's through the middle, base hit. Hamels will go to third. He hesitated for a moment because he saw that Jennings wasn't really going too quickly after it. So the Phillies are first and third with 2 outs.
As Tom mentioned, they're not holding him on, plus it's 3-2. So he's running right away. And, you know, that play was right in front of Cole Hamels. He just drifts on over to third. Another off-speed pitch. Yeah, breaking ball right there. And Polanco, that one got a little bit of the plate and was up. And he hits the ball hard. Now, if there's ever a guy you would throw something junk to on the first pitch, it's right now. The Hunter Pence. And they've been doing a lot of that anyway. But he's a guy that swings so hard. What did he do last time up? It went about 400 feet foul on the first pitch.
Well, Molina finishes the conversation, goes back behind the plate. Runners on first and third. 2 outs, no score. And Hunter Pence, 1 for 1 today. They play him to pull. I have to admit, I don't think I've seen this kind of infield defense before with Pence. You know, with Rodriguez shaded toward the hole.
And they threw him a fastball and he didn't swing, but it was way inside. But that doesn't mean he wouldn't swing at it and look out down the third baseline. Yeah, this is a pretty big pull infield defense. Ooh. Now here's where they've really worked well today, Molina and the young pitcher Hellickson, throwing off speed in fastball counts.
They got him to pop it up right side. Elliott Johnson is there. He calls off Pena. And the Phils are retired. No runs, 2 hits, 2 men left. We've completed our first 3 here in Clearwater. Hey, tickets for the 2012 Phils games are available for most every game. Make plans for the season's first Hatfield Dollar Dog Nights. Thursday the 12th against the Marlins. Monday the 30th against the Cubs. Don't delay. Make plans now for your choice of Phillies games this season. Go to Phillies.com. Jose Molina, the Rays catcher, along with the Rays pitching coach and Hellickson, having a conversation probably about the at-bats to Hamels, to Polanco. They gave up 2 hits, but then they fought hard to get Hunter Pence, and they were able to get him out on a pop-out.
Yeah, mostly about location, where the ball is thrown, a little bit of movement. You know, he has to go on all location just about. He moves the ball up and down.
Jim Hickey, who you saw there, the pitching coach, is in his 6th year as the Rays pitching coach. And it's his 30th year in professional baseball. There he is. Never made it to the major leagues as a player. Made it as high as AAA just for a half a season. As we go to the top of the order, Desmond Jennings, the batter. It's 2 balls and no strikes.
Sometimes they say that those guys are better instructors because they're trying a lot harder than guys that maybe have been in the league. I've always felt that it's easier to teach when you've done it before, you know, as opposed to trying to teach someone that you've learned from someone else or from books.
2-2 the count. But you agree that even if they, you know, their limited experience or their experience just is limited to minor league baseball, that helps. I mean, Rich Doobie never made it to the major leagues.
Absolutely, yeah. But again, too, I mean, I could be the pitching coach here. Let's face it.
Oh.
I mean, I'm not saying that Rich doesn't do a good job.
Oh, man.
But, I mean, it's the same with Leo Mazzoni. We talked about that before. He was saying how difficult it was being the pitching coach with Maddox and Smoltz and Glavine. I told him the time he was going to have a difficult time. It's when he went over there to Baltimore.
Well,
okay?
you were right about that. You were prophetic about that.
Well, that's what I'm talking about more so. Not that he doesn't do a good job. It's just that a little easier when you have pros like Holiday, Cliff Lee, and Hamels. You're able to sit back and relax like that.
All right, now when we go to Atlanta on Sunday, you're going to take the early bus with Dubes, or you're going to take the later bus?
I'll talk to Dubes a little later when we get out.
Down the right field line, Pence gives a look, and it's out of play. Well, Rich Doobie has done a wonderful job with this pitching staff over the years. And, you know, it began before Roy Halladay and Cliff Lee and guys like that arrived. And you know, you think about what he's been able to do with guys like Cole Hamels and Vance Worley and players like that, and even the bullpen guys.
Well, obviously, you got to have one. Got to have a pitching coach. He's their eyes for a lot of the pitchers, especially with their mechanics.
Swing and a miss. He got him. That was a pitch that it didn't look like Jennings realized was going to come out of the hand of Cole Hamels. Third strikeout.
A lot of movement on that pitch. And that's the key to pitching. You get a head, too, of hitters. You can get them to swing at pitches that aren't necessarily in the zone there. Boy, he does such a great job, Cole Hamels. Starts it in the zone right about where you want it, and then the ball breaks away out of the zone.
There's Jeff Keppinger, takes outside. Keppinger grounded out to second his first time up. Line drive caught by Polanco, 2 outs. May have been the hardest hit ball of the day against Hamels. And that'll bring Evan Longoria to the plate. Back when the Phillies were thinking about 2012, they were hoping Polanco was going to be back and healthy. And Sarge, I think he looks outstanding defensively.
Oh, well, I mean, that's really what he does. Even better than the hitting. The reason that he does, he has really soft hands. He anticipates the ball. And when you're able to have soft hands like that, I mean, it's just easier. A lot of times guys will flinch up when a ball comes and makes the hand kind of hard.
But whatever injuries bothered him last year, it never bothered his defense.
No, not at all.
Swing and a miss. 1-2. Won the Gold Glove last year over at third base. See his career numbers. Also won a Gold Glove a couple of times at second base. Towering fly ball deep to left field. Nix is there. Will it carry out? It will. And the Rays have their first hit of the day. A solo home run by Evan Longoria.
Well, one of the better hitters in the game today, especially at third base in Longoria. That's what happens with these big guys. It's okay to pitch in, boy, but when you get part of that play, they get those arms extended. Ball goes a long way. Cole was able to kind of trick him, throwing that ball down. See where this ball is if he gets it in. See that ball out over the plate? When it does that, it's going to go a long way.
Well, look at where his head was, though, watching the flight of that ball. That was a high fly ball.
Yeah, it went out high.
It sure did.
Yeah, this guy hits the ball a long way. Again, he's got terrific power. One of the better third basemen in the game today.
Ben Zobrist, the hitter, and he hits the ball fouled on the right field line. It's 0-2. I have to admit, off the bat, though, I thought it was still a ball that was going to be caught.
Well, it didn't give you that sound, that loud sound where you know that the ball is going to go out. But guys like that are strong, they don't have to get them all in order for the ball to get out of the ballpark.
31 home runs last year for Longoria, 113 for his career. And a called strike 3 on the inside corner. Fourth strikeout of the day for Cole Hamels. He does give up a run on a solo home run by Evan Longoria. Middle of the fourth, it's 1-0 Rays. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Chevrolet. You see your local Chevy dealer. Visit ChevyDealer.com. And by W.B. Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. Phillies down 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the fourth. Preseason still going on here, but over in Japan. Opening day took place yesterday.
Wow.
And now the second game has already been played. Did you ever play in Japan, Sarge?
Sure did. Played in an all-star game. Happened to play in center field. The only time that I did. Left field was George Foster. Right field was Dave Parker. I ran faster than those guys.
But who had the better arm?
Well, Parker had definitely the better arm, and George could hit him as far as anybody. But what a great time, though, to be down there.
All right, now this is opening day that took place there, Seattle and Oakland. Would you be a proponent as a player to go over there and open the season?
Love to. Love to. And I'm one of the guys that really love to eat a lot of sushi, so I would actually enjoy it there in Japan.
Well, looking at the crowds, I mean, I watched some of both games. I mean, there was a lot of energy. And
yeah.
Not that there wouldn't be in Seattle, not that there wouldn't be in Oakland, but if you can get past the travel, it has to be a treat for these guys to be over there.
Yeah, not only that, how about the fans, though? Get a chance to see actually major league players, not just some of their own.
Jim Thome will lead it off against Jeremy Hellickson here in the bottom of the fourth. 1-0 Tampa. Tomey fly to right his first time up.
Well, you're right about the one thing, though, the travel. That's where the problem comes in at.
That's why they started so early, because now they'll come back to the States once the series concludes, and they'll get themselves acclimated again in the States.
I think that's such a great idea to be able to do that. Ball a little high.
Jim Tomey didn't like one of the pitches that was called a strike in his previous at-bat. That one was low. This one, as Sarge said, was high.
Take a look at it.
That's
not
high.
only that, it's kind of moving away from him.
1-2 the count to Tomey. That ball is hit to right field. Got some top spin on it. Yeah, there's one away. Well, Thursday, March 29th at 5:30. Huh. That's later on today. A free event kicking off the annual Phillies Paint the Town Red Week. Live runway show featuring some of the latest in Phil's fashion. It'll be at the Macy's at Center City. A fanatic reading himself for Red Week. He may turn red on the runway. Special guests, special prizes, free rally towels while supplies last. Again, it's later on today at 5:30 at the Macy's in Center City. Go to Phillies.com/paintthetownred for more information. Here's Victorino, who takes a strike. Sarge, we were at the fashion show last year.
Yeah, it was really nice. I'm surprised we weren't going to be back there this year, although I guess it started a little bit early, but really was a nice event.
Victorino on the hands. He'll get a base hit. Fourth hit of the day for the Phillies. Our own Scott Palmer will be there. Last year he showed up in a red suit from head to toe. Red hat, red suit.
It was unbelievable.
It was really red.
Oh, yeah. And let me tell you, he was really proud of what he had on.
Well, I had the honor of going to another event after that last year with him, walking through the streets of Philadelphia. And people were stopping him. Sometimes people stop him because he's Scott Palmer. But people were stopping him because he was dressed in red. They thought he was some kind of a lounge act. There's Lance Nix.
If you're walking downtown, surprised you didn't get a lot of people asking you where you got that suit from.
There were a couple that asked him.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Swing and a miss by Nix. It's 0-1. Nix this spring, 8 for 39. First year here with the Phillies.
Got Nix on an off-speed pitch his last time up. Nix, another one of those guys that usually tries to stay on the fastball and adjust.
When you have a guy like Hellickson who throws more than his fastball for strikes, I mean, there's a lot of pitchers in Major League Baseball that are that way. But in a day like this where he's throwing his curve, he's throwing a changeup, he's throwing a cutter, I mean, how does that affect you at the plate?
Those guys would really, for the pitcher to challenge you, throw the ball at you as opposed to nibbling. This is what you're almost calling pitching a little bit backwards.
But
Jamie Moyer would do that because, you know, he wasn't afraid to throw or to go deep into the count. Either is he. So therefore he's nibbling, and, you know, it takes patience to be able to hit.
Yeah, see, a guy like Jamie Moore, who has a big start today, by the way, for the Rockies to see if he makes their rotation. A guy like Jamie Moore, I would think along the lines of what you're saying, that he would pitch backwards because he doesn't overpower you. This guy's got a good fastball.
He's got a good fastball. To me, he's been able to get the guys more off balance and throwing off-speed pitches as opposed to just rearing back and challenging you. There's one off the end of the bat, same kind of way, off-speed. You know, one of the things maybe he needs to do is to maybe pitch a little bit more. But he throws his fastball more as a surprise. I mean, last year with him pitching, I mean, with runners in scoring position, guys didn't hit him well at all. I mean, it was like a $167, $176 or so. So that tells you there, though, he concentrates when he gets guys that are in scoring position.
Well, that's part of the reason why his earned run average was 2.95 a season ago. 2 outs, runner at first. Ty Wigginton is the hitter. Fly to center his first time up, or really line to center. Takes a curve for a strike. I guess that's what you're talking about, pitching backwards, starting him off with a curveball or the off-speed pitch.
Yeah, and, for a hitter, the only way you want to really swing at that, if you go up and you say, okay, this particular pitch, I'm going to look off-speed, or I'm going to look for the breaking ball. Therefore, you'd be right on it if you're guessing right.
Routed toward the hole. Rodriguez was shaded that way, and they retire Victorino. And the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left for the Phils. We're through 4. April 3rd at Citizens Bank Park, it's the On Deck with the Phillies reception, an afternoon luncheon hosted by the Greater Philadelphia Chamber of Commerce. It features the entire 2012 Phillies Ball Club. There are Q&A sessions with various players, autograph stations, tickets to Tuesday night's exhibition game against the Pirates included with the reception package. Go to greaterphilachamber.com or go to phillies.com/paintthetownred for more information. Top of the 5th, 1-0 Rays. Carlos Pena leads it off. Pena last year played for the Cubs. He spent 4 years with the Rays. During his 4 years with the Rays, Sarge, he averaged 36 home runs per season.
Guy hits a lot of home runs. The last couple of years, however, that average has dipped really low.
Outside. Well, if you recall back in 2008, Carlos Pena and Evan Longoria, both guys who were big pieces to the Rays offensive puzzle. They were a combined 3 for 37 against the Phillies in the World Series.
Yeah. Well, a big part of the reason why they end up winning that series there. But you become a little bit, especially guys like Pena. These guys here, you become where, as a hitter, all you're thinking about are just home runs. He's too good of a hitter not to at least be able to hit 260 and above.
Ooh, look at Jim Thome. What a play. Tumbles into foul territory and then flips to Hamels covering.
Wow.
Well, if you want to test, folks, there's the first big test of the spring for Thome.
No doubt about it as he passes with flying colors. And again, the only way you get that, look how he starts to get ready and moving his legs, anticipating the ball and coming to him as he end up making that top. There's one roll, and here it is again. There as he moves his feet. There's a roll for you as he gets up and tosses that ball. Now there it is in real speed. Take a look at it. He's anticipating it, moving his legs, end up getting a soft toss. And that roll is in fast motion too, guys.
One away. Here's Molina. Lifts it foul. Tomey gives it a look, and it's just out of play.
But those are some of the plays that Jim was talking about, to be able to test his body going left to right. And those are some of the plays that pitchers are going to love for him to make and wanting to make. But you make those plays by anticipation and just making sure that you're actually, when you do dive, you're not able to break any bones or anything, that you're limber enough.
Well, I thought it was interesting just there. You know, Hamels, after that foul ball, took a walk around the mound. I mean, this is a tough play for any first baseman, let alone a 41-year-old guy.
Sure it is. Once he catches it, though, he knows he can gather himself automatically. Pitchers should be going over to first base. Take that easy throw.
Swing and a miss. He got Molina. 5th strikeout for Hamels. I mentioned after the pop-up, the foul ball that went out of play, Hamels took a nice stroll around the mound and looked over to Tomey. Tomey said, "I'm okay."
Well, you got to check on him now. Well, he always has a smile, too. I mean, here's a guy that loves to play baseball, loves to talk about it. And has been really good at it throughout his career.
Matt Joyce, the hitter, he's 0 for 1. He struck out looking his first time up, and he takes a ball inside. Good fastball. Good life on it. Good spot.
Good location, and especially after you throw him a first pitch, something off speed there on the inside. Then you go outside.
Out in front. 2-2.
Very comfortable with that changeup that he throws. Does keep hitters off that fastball. When you're able to throw something other than what that hitter's looking for, it makes it easier for you to pitch.
Tried another changeup, that one in a different spot. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, if you're going to miss, that's where you want to miss, is inside, off the plate, as opposed to missing out over the plate.
Joyce is aboard. He went down looking on a similar pitch his last time up. That one was a little lower. And that's the first walk of the day, only the second base runner. Given up by Hamels. The other one was the home run by Longoria. Then Sean Rodriguez, who grounded out his first time up, he'll be the hitter for the Rays.
Well, these are the days in spring training for both pitchers and hitters that you really want to start honing in on your game. You want to feel good and starting the season off. You know, guys that are giving up a lot of runs, you don't want to go in with question marks on whether or not this pitch works or this pitch works.
Well, yesterday, Vance Worley, they gave up a boatload of runs in that ball game against Minnesota. Now he's scheduled to be the 3rd pitcher for the Phillies.
Yeah.
Once they get out to Pittsburgh for that series. But he's had, you know, kind of an up and down spring.
Up and down is right. And I know he's been experimenting with different pitches. You know, what I've always thought, if you've had success in what you're doing, I mean, why don't you stay right where you're at? I talked with Larry Anderson, and he said that Worley was getting hit on that slider, some of those sliders that he's been throwing.
I think that was a change.
Well, he can throw that anytime. Said he can throw it in his sleep. Take a look at it. Rodriguez may be thinking it was a little high. Oh, that's a good pitch.
Well, now 3-2, so the runner will be off from first. That's Matt Joyce. Tomey plays behind him. Here he goes, and the pitch is low. Back-to-back walks issued by Hamels, and 2 on for the number 9 batter.
Another off-speed pitch he walked him with. Those are some of the things there that even Cole Hamels would be working on. Well, this kind of a game, maybe during the season, he'd go right at him with a fastball, especially if you thought a guy, couldn't hurt you.
Hamels has had innings where he's thrown 10 pitches twice. Another inning where he threw 15, another where he threw 17. That's the 20th pitch of this inning. And it's 1 ball and no strikes to Johnson.
Well, obviously, control has left him a little bit, walking 2 batters.
Last year he walked just 44 in 216 innings of work. We'll get out of it here as long as Victorino can make this play. Shane glides under it, and Hamels allows 2 runners to get on, but that's it. He leaves 2. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Jim Tomey, well, if you're wondering how he can move, he moves quite. Get suited up for spring training at the official online shop of the Phillies with the largest selection of authentic spring training gear, including clubhouse caps and T-shirts, jerseys, sweatshirts, and more. Get your spring at the official source, thephillies.com shop, and of course you can carry that over to the start of the regular season. A lot of the items that were available down here are available at phillies.com, and there's a great selection that'll take you into the start of the 2012 season for the Phils. Oh, Jim Tomey joking with some of the guys in the dugout. He really did make a wonderful play. He stopped and talked to Charlie Manuel as he walked in. Shane Victorino's just trying to cool him off. It's a red hot glove right there. I know I keep saying this, but tomorrow is the big test. How does his back respond to playing in a game like today, making a play like that, moving around like that? Tomorrow is the big day.
Well, I mean, again, too, Tom, they all become really big days for him because, let's face it, during this course of the season, you're going to want him to play all of those 9 innings and going out. So going right next to Scott there, the trainer there, is, I'm sure, not just asking him how you feeling as opposed to, hey, I'm not feeling too good. Scott is asking him, hey, how do you feel? The muscle okay? Your back okay?
Well, it's been good so far with everything he's done.
It's been great. But they've been taking it a little bit soft with him. They've been taking it easy with it. During the season now you're ready to go. So you want guys that are going to be able, hopefully, to play the majority of that 1 week anyway.
1 ball, 1 strike, the count to Schneider, make it 1-2. Schneider's first time up, topped one over to Carlos Pena. Phillies down 1-0 thanks to an Evan Longoria home run.
Another off-speed pitch and broken bat. Well, he really has pitched backwards, and even though having a good fastball, used mostly off-speed pitches to get most of the hitters out.
Two and two the count. That pitch low to Schneider. Schneider will join Carlos Ruiz as the Phillies' two catchers to start the season. Carlos had another good day yesterday down in Fort Myers. He continues to hit the ball well.
Hopefully he's going to have one of those years where he starts to hit the beginning of the season and keep on hitting.
There's a towering fly ball deep to right field. Does it have enough? It does! Solo home run. Brian Schneider is first of the spring. This ball game is all tied up at 1. Well, Cole Hamels gave up a ball that looked like it was going to be caught in left field for a home run to Evan Longoria. That one went even deeper than Longoria's, but the breeze is going out that way. Pretty sweet swing for Brian Schneider. It's a 1-1 game.
Yeah, got good extension on this particular pitch here. Take a look at it. Something high up out of the zone. Look how he leaves it right up there. Not trying to go on the top of it, driving it out of the ballpark.
And Hamels with a big swing and a miss. It's 0-1. He's 1 for 1 today.
Another guy has a lot of pride about his hitting. Hope Brian can kind of stay injury-free this year. We'll have more than those, or should have more, I should say, than those 2 home runs.
Hamels fouls it off at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Chad Qualls is starting to move around a little bit in the Phillies bullpen. Hamels will probably pitch at least the 6th inning, if not more. I don't know if Qualls was thinking about starting to throw it all, but he was stretching out there. 1-2 the count to Hamels. That one's lifted to shallow right center field. It's a long run for Zobrist, but he's there. And there's the first out. Pete Orr is due to lead off. Due to bat here. He's the leadoff hitter this afternoon for the Phillies. For more on him, here's Greg Murphy.
All right, thanks a lot, Tom. You know, you and Wheels earlier in the game talking about Pete Orr and, you know, getting an opportunity to maybe make this squad as a middle infielder, and I talked to him about that today, and he said, you know what, that's what it's about for a guy like me. I just want to get that opportunity and then make the most of it. He said, I've been the 25th guy that's made the team, and I've been the 26th guy that didn't make the team, and obviously there's a big difference between 25 and 26, but getting a chance to play second base and shortstop here, and as Wheels pointed out, started off a little slow for his first 10, but really has turned it on. And like I said, getting that opportunity, now it's up to him to make the most of it.
Yeah, and Murph, he's been around for a while, as everybody knows. He's 32 years old. He picked up his 1,000th professional hit last year while he was at AAA. So you know, the guy has stuck around for quite a long time.
Yeah, the fact that he's still here, he said, is a good sign. And, you know, he was scheduled to start at second base today and then moved over to shortstop once Jimmy Rollins got the day off. So I asked him, I said, where do you feel more comfortable? He said, you know, I probably feel a little bit more comfortable at second base, but, man, I love playing shortstop because that's where the action is. So.
That's where the action is. You can see everything. So there's no doubt about that. And as you can hear the way Greg was talking, this guy is one of the best guys you'll ever meet right here in Pete Orr. I mean, just a super guy.
Well, it would give them another leadoff hitter possibly, and another guy that can play multiple positions that you got to see if he can play shortstop.
Well, we've watched him the last few days, and he looks pretty good there.
Notice this bat swings pretty good, decent bat.
Mentioned only 9 games in the majors at shortstop coming into this year, but in the minor leagues, he was primarily a shortstop at the beginning. And he's down looking on strike, so he's 0 for 3 today. 2 outs here in the 5th.
Little backdoor breaking ball. Tell you where that test is going to come in. 1 out, bases loaded, ball hit fairly in the hole that you're able to turn that double play. That's what we've kind of gotten used to over the years. And same with the pitchers. You got to be able to play good defense, especially in the infield on this team, just because of the pitching.
2 away for Placido Polanco. He's 1 for 2.
You can tell Charlie still playing around with his lineup.
All right, opening day. Who would you like to hit cleanup? I mean, it'll be against a left-hander, so Tommy won't be in there. Who would you like to see hit cleanup?
Well, I mean, right now, for me, you'd have to have probably Hunter Pence. I mean, when you're just looking around the ball club, Mayberry would be a candidate. I think he's a little bit young for me. Don't want to put that pressure on him right out of the boot.
All right, who's your 3-hitter?
Well, 3-hitter, I can go with Shane Victorino. That is actually that has been there. I can flip-flop them and put J-Roll there, depending on who's comfortable or who I felt would give me the best at bat with runners in scoring position.
2 balls, 1 strike to count to Pence, or to Polanco, excuse me. And it's 3-1. All right, now righty on the mound. It's a little easier.
Oh, well, yeah, you put Tommy there if he's playing first base. You know, you have him, hitting fourth.
And you put Pence 3rd, or maybe 5th.
I would put Pence, really for me, I'd put Pence 5th. And I say that just because if you want to just walk, Hunter, not give him a pitch, you still have a guy that can hit that ball out of the ballpark. Although,
if you decide to walk Tommy, you have a guy that hits it out of the ballpark.
Exactly. But again, though, if you're going to have him hit 5th, then you have to be cognizant of those balls that might be hitting the gap that you don't think Tommy would be able to score on those particular balls.
Well, Polanco works out a walk. It's the first walk today by Hellickson. And that'll bring Hunter Pence to the plate.
Don't think Charlie is set on any one lineup or really feels comfortable with them.
Well, you see Pence's numbers, his average pretty even against lefties and righties. Some more home runs against right-handers, probably more because he has more at-bats against right-handers.
Well, this will be surely a test because being in that lineup with a Ryan Howard and an Utley, they're going to pitch you a little differently. This year they're going to pitch him a little differently, and we'll see whether or not he gets, those fastballs first pitch. And he's certainly not going to get a lot of them for strikes first pitch. He'll be out of the zone and probably more breaking balls, if you will.
There's a breaking ball hit to 3rd. Longoria goes the short way to get Polanco. And the Phillies are retired here in the 5th. However, Brian Schneider's home run has tied this ball game up. It's his first of the spring, and it evens things up at 1 apiece as we go to the 6th. Marshall Harris, Ricky Bowe, and Ben Davis preview the upcoming Phillies season and answer questions about the pitching rotation and the roster. Don't miss Phillies Focus, presented by Schuylkill Valley Sports, Sunday at 10:30 p.m. only on Comcast Sportsnet. All-around baseball rosters are starting to be finalized, and not totally, but they're getting there. And guys are starting to receive news whether they're going to be able to start the year with the team or be placed on the DL. Here in Tampa, the Rays will not have B.J. Upton to start the season. In Washington, their closer, Drew Storen, will start the year on the DL. And it looks like the Washington Nationals will have Brad Lidge as their closer to start the year.
Well, he's used to that role.
He's pitched well this spring, they say. Desmond Jennings 0 for 2, leads it off. There's a fly ball to right center field, pretty well hit. Victorino on the run. He's not going to get there. One hop off the wall. Jennings can fly, but he'll stop at second. He thought about 3.
Now that ball kept carrying and carrying. The Tampa Bay Rays are pretty high there on Jennings. Well, it's this ball hits there in the gap. When you start thinking 3, you got to start thinking it right now. As he gets around and going at first base, here's a guy with that much speed. He should be able to kick that into gear and to get to third base. He almost did that, but then he looked down, and that is your decision, the runner's decision when that ball is in front of you. You make your decision up on whether or not you could get to third base.
Well, now Keppinger is 0 for 2. Corners pinch in a little. Keppinger doesn't square, takes it inside. It's 1-0. Keppinger last year split time between the Astros and the Giants. 56 games last year with the Giants. And a grounder toward third, picked up by Orr, but he can't get a grip on it. And the Rays have runners on first and second.
Yep, those are some of the plays. Again, that's a tough play for a shortstop. Even tougher for Polanco. He wasn't able to reach it. But still, he kept it in front. Runner did not advance on this particular play. See, that's wide. As Pete Orr looks that ball right into the glove. Got to have a strong arm there, Tom, if you're going to make that throw. He decided not to, and probably was smart.
Well, he's made that play, a couple of those similar plays. Jennings takes off. The runner doesn't go from first. And Jennings, probably still thinking about whether he should have a triple or not, gets over to third with less than 2 outs. And now he can score on even a double play.
You know, you would say that, but I can remember playing and doing just that. Thought you should have been at third base, get a good jump. He's looking all the way and sees that he's not going to throw. Only time it's a good play is when it's a safe play and you're there at third base.
So first and third, nobody out. And Longoria fouls it up the third base line. Chad Qualls warming up at the pen. The ball took a very difficult hop on the ball girl.
Was it made hitting the wall?
It didn't care him the way she had expected it to.
Okay. That's the bad hop.
There's Qualls.
There's another batting stance that you wouldn't necessarily teach. Longoria has been doing it so long that he feels so comfortable with his particular stance. More kind of a statue, like straight up. You almost like to have guys with a little bit in the arm, in their legs.
He fouled that one off, and it remains 1-2. All right, so what don't you like? The open start of the stance?
The open stance is just, it's fine. I'm just, you know, I'd like to see hitters with a little bit more balance. I'd like to see a little bit more of a crouch. But again, you know, he feels comfortable this way, and he's been successful. So as a hitting coach, you wouldn't change him. But take a look here at this last home run. That's strictly fastball. I mean, you throw it in that zone. Boy, had a little different sound there, Tom.
Yeah, it did. So a 1-1 game, nobody out. Runners on first and third. And Longoria takes inside, 2-2.
You know, one of the things that he does, I mean, he is open, but he gets to the hitting point where you should. Thought maybe it would be a little easier on him if he had bent legs and maybe didn't start as open. He's exaggerating when he starts open.
He grounds it foul again.
One thing he does do that's correct is the lower half, when he gets ready to stride, it's slow the way that it should be. Talked about that before. Slow feet, quick hands. That's the way it works. Looks to have a good eye, too.
Or get some help.
Eagle eye on this one right there on the outside part of the plate. And
that's been a strike today.
Could go either way. A lot of times depending on the hitter. A lot of times depending on the pitcher.
So 3-2 the count with nobody out. Keppinger leads off first. Jennings off third. And a swing and a miss and a changeup. He got him. He won the battle. Got a really good hitter with a really good pitch. 6 strikeouts for Hamels.
Well, here's that changeup again, and that's who you want to throw them to, the big hitters like Longoria, looking fastball. You know, he's almost starting that swing. That fastball on the outside part of the plate.
Takes some guts to throw a 3-2 changeup with runners on first and third.
He says he can throw it in his sleep. It's been one of his best weapons over the years.
Zobrist is 0 for 2. Phillies set up for 2. And the bunt play, that wasn't a straight squeeze. Jennings didn't go immediately with the pitch. He went when the hitter made some contact.
Yeah, that's a safety squeeze, but he's supposed to be able to read that. And when you read it, you're not going when that ball gets in the air, although he did try and scamper back. Zobrist, he's just trying to get that ball down in any area in the infield, preferably going toward first base.
Well, that one went off his foot, so it's 0-2. Pretty good test right here for Hamels in a 1-1 game. Runners on the corners with nobody out. Gets Longoria on strikes, and now trying to get a double play ball.
Gotta tell you, you don't often safety squeeze with your fourth hitter up there at the plate.
That is true, but it is Joe Madden in the other dugout.
And the other way you do it is by a surprise. That you want it to be a surprise, and that certainly was.
Got him. Boy, he confused him. You can just see that by that swing that he confused him. 2 outs. Rich Dubie's going out to the mound. I wonder if that's going to be it for Hamels. We'll see.
Well, I tell you, this pitch was filthy. Take a look at it and watch the movement on it. You can tell the movement just by the way that the batter swings at the ball. Completely fooled on that pitch.
All right, well, the bullpen door is swung open. Rich Dubie has the baseball. So that's going to be it for Cole Hamels. So not too shabby for Cole today. 5 2/3, 7 strikeouts. Had a pretty good changeup. He used all of his pitches. So his afternoon is complete. It's his final start down here in Florida before the Phillies head north. Get total Phillies opening day coverage on Comcast Sportsnet at 1 p.m. Warm up with reports from Pittsburgh on Phillies pregame live. After the game, close it out with Ricky Bo's analysis plus team reactions on Phillies postgame live. Total Phillies Pirates opening day coverage starting next Thursday at 1 on Comcast Sportsnet. Phillies will open in Pittsburgh on Thursday, off day on Friday, then Saturday night, and then Easter Sunday. Cole Hamels so far his line 5 2/3, 3 hits. That won't change. 1 run, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, 88 pitches. I'll tell you what, though, the last 2 batters, pretty impressive stuff. Look at the location.
Well, that's how you can tell that he is starting to feel pretty good. And look at the location is right on that changeup. You got to throw that ball with the right kind of velocity to be able to get the movement that he gets on it. Good pitch.
So Chad Qualls will come on to face his former team. And Qualls, a 4.15 earned run average this spring. And he'll face Carlos Pena, who's 0 for 2. Runners on first and third. Pena takes inside. Jennings over at third. Keppinger at first.
Pena drives in runs. He will drive in a lot of runs. Not having a good spring there. That's what I was talking about. This guy should be able to hit a lot better than what he's hitting, even in spring training without a lot of at-bats. He's too much power, too good of a hitter, too good of an eye for me not to be able to hit for a higher average.
Well, last year he hit 225, which Sarge was better than the year before.
Yeah.
When he hit 196. He had 484 at-bats and he hit 196. I guess that's part of the issue right there.
Well, again, that's where it would show you that the guy's swinging for home runs. You know, every situation, and a situation here with 2 outs, you're not trying to hit the ball out of the ballpark. Sure, if you get it and it goes out, great. But what you're trying to do is hit that ball, hit line drives, gaps if you can.
Down on strikes. Good job by Qualls. That's what you're talking about, Sarge. He opened himself up. Instead of trying to make some contact, he whiffs, and Qualls does his job. Baseball is brought to you by the Quality Plus Ford stores. One of the biggest crowds of the spring. At least they were expecting that today.
Yep.
As the Phillies and the Rays are tied at 1. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Only one more game left here at Bright House Field. That's Saturday afternoon. Phillies will be in Tampa tomorrow night at 7:05. One change for the Rays. Reed Brignac will come on to play shortstop for Tampa.
That might be a little nice. Take in a night game. What do you think?
we had an opening night day? Have we had an night game so far this spring?
I don't remember doing one.
I don't think so. Should have a pretty good crowd there.
I'm trying.
That's because you're only going over the causeway. You're not going over the bridge.
That's exactly right. Oh,
people look at you. What are you, 6'2", 6'3"?
Yeah, about 6'2.5", I think.
6'2.5". Afraid of heights, afraid of bridges. I guess one goes hand in hand.
Claustrophobic as well.
Oh,
yeah.
Boy. Jim Thome leads it off here in the bottom of the 6th. Afraid of spiders?
Yeah, those people are. Spiders, snakes.
Foul ball, and it's 1-1. Thome is 0 for 2. He's flied out to right, and he's lined out to right. Afraid of dogs?
Oh, no, I love dogs. All kind of dogs. Small ones, big ones.
How about lightning?
Can't stand lightning. You either can lead Trevino, okay?
Here's 2-1. And it's a strike on the outside corner. It's 2-2.
It's one of the things you just don't play around with. Since lightning.
I think we should just go to. I think we should just go to the list of things that you're not afraid of. That'll be shorter. Thome's hit the ball well both times today. Kind of got into his kitchen his last time up, but he was strong enough to hit it to fairly deep right field. Charlie Manuel's taking a look at his lineup card. If Jim gets on, he may pinch run for him. He's already played 6 innings in the field. Same amount that he played his last time up.
Yeah, I think you want to pinch run. The last thing you want is for him to get hurt running the bases after he's gone through all the spring training.
Well, John Mayberry is coming out to pinch run for Jim Thome. So Jim's afternoon is complete. Made a fine play over at first base. 6 innings defensively. I just love watching the reaction and listening to the reaction of the fans here at Bright House Field. Nice job. I'll get Toto Phillies opening day coverage on Comcast Sportsnet at 1. Warm up with reports from Pittsburgh on Phillies pregame live. After the game, close it out with Ricky Bo's analysis plus team reactions on Phillies postgame live starting next Thursday at 1 p.m. on Comcast Sportsnet. Here's Victorino with the runner at first. Third baseman Longoria plays in. Just in case Victorino tries to bunt. Mayberry is woken up almost immediately by Jose Molina.
Well, all those Molina brothers will throw to any base at any time. Not afraid to throw the ball.
Over toward the hole, base hit it to right field. Mayberry will stop at second. Victorino did his job. And the Phillies have runners on first and second with nobody out. It's the same way the 6th inning began for the Rays. Let's see if the Phillies can cash in. As Lance Nix will be the hitter.
Well, some kind of way needs to get that runner in Mayberry over the third base.
Rays do have bullpen action. Marquise Fleming is warming up in the pen. Nix is 0 for 2. He struck out and popped out. Corners play in, and Nix takes low.
And these are not guys here, Lance or even Ty Wigington, that you want to try and bunt the ball. You know, you want these guys to be able to hit. That's what they're going to have to do during the course of the season. They can have good at bats, you know, not swing at bad pitches. That's just as effective.
Well, Nix's numbers last year with runners in scoring position, not as good as his overall numbers. That's 16 home runs, 44 runs batted in. He got a pretty good pitch to hit there, and he fouled it back. 2 balls and 1 strike to count.
You know, those are those kind of cripple pitches that you get that as a hitter, this time during spring training, you don't want to miss that. Look at him. He's already opened up, so therefore, when that tells me looking for the ball on the inside part of the plate as opposed to really just trying to drive the ball. That ball near to the middle outside, I would think. That one's just right down the middle. But again, those counts 2-0, 2-1, 3-1. That's the advantage of the hitter. You know, that's when usually you'll do your most damage. When the pitcher gets behind, you got to make them pay.
Phillies have had only one other base runner in scoring position today. That was Hamels after he singled in the 3rd. He went to 3rd. And Hellickson is about to reach 100 pitches for the day. Hamels threw 88 pitches. He was outstanding today. As the pickoff attempt is not close. Mayberry gets back.
Now, these are all things, though, that they will be trying during the course of the season. You know, they put on different plays, and they got to try them out. Got to see whether or not players feel comfortable with them.
He pops him up. It's a fair ball at the 3rd base line. The infield fly rule is called, so the batter's out. One way here in the 3rd, or in the 6th, excuse me. And that'll bring Ty Wigginton to the plate.
Well, that is not a productive out there by Lance Nick. Productive out would have been that he got that runner over to 3rd base some kind of way. Deep fly ball can do that. Usually a ball hit to the right side. If it's not the double play ball, would have done it. These are the little situations during the season that they're going to be able to compete like they should. They're going to have to do those little things.
With really this kind of lineup.
Well,
without Howard, without Utley.
I think this is why Charlie's testing this lineup to see what parts he can have hitting where. Whether or not it's the 6th position, 5th, 7th position, they all become important.
Want to know the count to Wigginton. He lifts that one towards shallow right. Nope, it's going to stay on the infield, and Pena makes the catch.
Wow.
Infield fly rule for the 2nd straight batter. 2 outs, and here's Brian Schneider.
Wow. Don't know if that was in on his hands or not, but a grown man hit that ball. Wasn't very far at all. Didn't even get it off the outfield, infield dirt, I don't believe. Take a look at it as it just gets in on his kitchen. You can see he had his hands down, pretty good mechanics. Bat just didn't get through the zone quick enough.
So 2 outs. Brian Schneider is the hitter. Juan Pierre is on deck for the Phils. Schneider homered his last time up. And he pops this one over our heads.
How about this in the 5th inning? Schneider hits his first home run. He got out by plenty. I think that ball had a chance to get out even if the wind was not blowing.
The spring training average up to 240. Trying to give the Phils the lead. Tied at 1 here in the bottom of the 6th. He's in the hole 0-2. It's a regular season performance here by Hellickson. He's over 100 pitches.
Well, he's built that arm strength out where he'll be able to do just that, probably his first start.
This will be the 105th pitch, and he gets Schneider on strike. So the Phillies get the first 2 batters aboard. Kind of like the Rays in the top of the 6th. They do not score. We've completed 6. Charlie Manuel may be ready to make some changes.
pitcher today have really been good. Cole Hamels, Jeremy Hellickson both had a pitch out of some jams. That was a really good curveball. Cole using all his pitches effectively here today. His cutter, curveball, and his changeup when he really needed to get a couple strikeouts with a runner at third base. There's one there on a changeup. There's another changeup on Longoria. Another changeup there on Zobrist. They were really good pitches that he threw in that spot. Here's our game summary. 2 home runs in this game. One by Evan Longoria for the Rays, and the other one by the Phillies' Brian Schneider. You see what Hamels did. And as I mentioned, Hellickson, he has been very good also through 6 innings, especially last inning with 2 on and nobody out.
Well, Cole Hamels, 7 strikeouts. Pretty impressive stuff this afternoon for the Phillies. We go to the top of the 7th. Some changes for the Phillies. John Mayberry, who came on a pinch run for Jim Thome, stays in the game to play first base for the Phils. Pete Orr moves over to third base. And Miguel Abreu is the new shortstop for the Phils. And they will be behind Joe Savory. Savory's had himself a very good spring for the Phillies. And he's on a relief here. Look at his numbers this spring. 4.26 earned run average. A lot of the damage was done in one game against the Detroit Tigers. And he delivers a fastball low. It's 1-0. Juan Pierre is in the ball game. He's in left field. Ground ball toward the middle. Abreu is there. He has plenty of time to get a Molina. 1 out here in the 7th. Murph, you had a chance to catch up with Joe Savory, didn't you?
I did, and you know, it's funny because we've talked so much, guys, down here about different pitchers working on different things, maybe working on location or on a particular pitch. And I asked Joe, I said, in your situation, how do you go about it? He said, you know what, I don't have that luxury. I don't have the luxury of working on things. I have to get guys out, and that's what every game I go into, I try to get guys out. And he said, my goal, my ultimate goal, as every relief pitcher is, especially down here for him, is to put zeros up on the board. And so far, as you said, he's been pretty good at that.
Yeah, his velocity has been good. His movement has been good. Location, well, you know, he's trying to keep the ball down in the zone. And that's a big key for him. He's a remarkable story, though. I mean, think about it, Murph. I mean, he was a hitter last year at the beginning of the year. He was a pitcher the year before.
It is really an amazing story. So he knows all about being one of the last guys to hang around on a major league roster. And I said to him, you know, the fact that you're still here has to be a good sign. He said, I think it's a good sign, but if I do get sent down to the minor leagues and, you know, other guys are pitching well, there's no guarantee that I'm the first guy to be called back up. So I got to keep doing my thing, got to keep getting guys out.
All right, we appreciate it, Murph. You know, Savory helped out last year, came up late in the season. And that experience of being in a big league bullpen certainly helped him, as it helps anybody. And now it's 1-2 to Matt Joyce with 1 away here in the top of the 7th inning.
This is a situation now when you get ahead of a left-handed hitter that you really want your left-handed reliever to be able to throw some kind of breaking ball away.
And he does, and he gets him to pop it up into center field, playable for Victorino.
Yeah, good job to make him reach there. You want to see a left-handed hitter never get comfortable against a left-handed pitcher, especially a relief pitcher who's just in there a lot of times to get these kind of hitters out. Now you get inside a little bit, but for the most part you want to go back out here, throw the breaking ball. Good sign right there that he really opened up, and then he reaches and hits it right off the end of the bat, and you really can't drive it. And that's a good sign to see, as I said, that he's way open there. Because you can't do anything with that. And it also means that his breaking ball is making him pull off a little bit.
Well, his fastball there, he blows right by Reed Brignac up for the first time. It's 0-1.
His velocity is. You said his velocity is good. What has he been this spring?
This spring he's been in the low 90s.
That's good. Can't wait to see radar against, you know, how hard guys are throwing.
0-2 the count. Key spot, back-to-back left-handers for Joe Savory to work against.
Well, here you go again. 0-2. I don't know. Brian Schneider's a smart catcher, but I don't know you need to waste a fastball on a left-handed hitter. You throw the breaking ball here, and if you miss away with it, fine. Just don't get it on the plate at all. Good. That's a great job right there. Maybe you'll chase it. Maybe you won't. But you should never get hurt 0-2 with a breaking ball, left-handed pitcher, left-handed hitter.
1-2 the count. Breaking ball, poked foul.
Too much of the plate on that one. They look a little bit uncomfortable. That's really one of the things you want to see. and hope that the opposition's left-handed hitters look uncomfortable against your left-handed pitcher the way your hitters do against theirs.
Well, and there is, some thought that Antonio Bastardo just isn't right now with his fastball. So the Phillies are looking for some assistance from the left side. You can always use another left-handed relief pitcher. Jake Diekman's already been sent out, but there's no question he can be brought back.
Say we just threw a fastball there, and you see the hitter was late on it because that's so many breaking balls. And Briniak hasn't played for a while either. He's been hurt.
1-2 pitch on the hands. Shallow left center field. Here comes Victorino, and he makes the catch. So a good job by Joe Savory. 1-2-3 go the Rays. Time to stretch here at Bright House Field. Tonight on Sports Night, get the latest news from Phil's spring training, plus a breakdown of the Flyers Maple Leafs matchup and a preview of Friday's Sixers Wizards game. Get all the news Philly fans need to know on Sports Night tonight at 6 and 10, only on Comcast Sportsnet. Well, we said there's some Rays fans that are in the house, and there's a young Rays fan, a couple of them. They were doing the chicken dance in between innings. Juan Pierre will lead it off for the Phillies. And he won't face a relief pitcher. It's Jeremy Hellickson, who's still out there for the Rays. He's over 100 pitches.
Yeah, they're really stretching him out today.
Longoria is in on the grass at third with Pierre up there.
Got a couple guys with him that they've already cut. So they expected to get a lot out of Hellickson today, and they are going to try and get 7.
By tomorrow, we should know if Juan Pierre is a part of the Phillies for 2012. He has a clause in his contract where he needs to be notified by a specific date.
Tomorrow being the 30th.
2-0 the count to Pierre. And there's a strike. It's 2-1.
They do have somebody warming up right now just in case.
Well, you see the Rays starters compared to the Phillies starters. At least 8 innings pitched, 2 or fewer runs 29 times last year. And Pierre loops it to right field. He's going to be aboard.
A lot easier to do that in the American League too than nationally because of the DH.
And here comes Joe Madden, so that may be it for Hellickson. He's just a signal to Marquise Fleming in the bullpen for the Rays. So that'll be it for Hellickson. He goes 6+ innings. Pete Orr is due up for the Phils. Pretty good outing, as we said, for both starting pitchers today. Hellickson goes 6+. He winds up allowing 7 hits. That's scattering 7 hits right there.
Those are two good-looking young pitchers we saw here today. Cole Hamels and Jeremy Hellickson.
So pitching change for the Rays. We'll be back with a new pitcher right after this. Well, we've had our share of low-scoring games so far this spring. This one is because of the pitching today. Cole Hamels, great through 5 2/3. Jeremy Hellickson, he was equally as impressive through 6+ innings. Now Marquise Fleming will take over for the Rays. Fleming, 6'1", 180 pounds, a 25-year-old who was selected in the 24th round in 2008 by Tampa. And he's in the 7th ball game. And he'll get set to face Pete Orr with a runner at first and nobody out. It's interesting to see what Charlie Manuel does here. I know you don't always think about strategies as we've talked about in spring training, but you've got some wheels over at first, and you've got a guy that can handle the bat in Pete Orr at the plate.
And he's a left-handed hitter too, with a right-handed pitcher who's throwing a lot of breaking balls, warming up right now. Now it's a pretty good fastball. He just threw his last pitch. So, a lot of times they'd rather try to pull a ball through the hole on the right side with this combination. Other times, it depends where you are and where your bullpen's set up. You might bunt to try and get a run.
Well, Juan Pierre, during his major league career, has stolen 554 bases.
It's hard to do strategy in these games we talk about all the time. But the other thing you always look at is if you bunt, what's next? Who you leaving it up to? And in this case, you have a young player on deck. Odds are here either Pierre steals or they let Orr hit ahead and try to pull the ball.
Well, Pierre inches off first, being held on by Pena. Good size lead. And Orr takes a cut and a miss at the first pitch. It's 0-1. Orr today is 0 for 3. He's lined out, he's flied out, and he is struck out. Taking a long look over at Juan Samuel in the third base coach's box.
Molina likes to start guys with off-speed pitches.
It's one of the reasons why they've decided to make him the #1 catcher, because he handles pitchers so well. And this is a good staff. Pierre last year stole 27 bases. Now you might think, he's on decline. Well, maybe, but the year before he stole 68.
Used to be automatic. This guy, he looks like you can run on him a little bit too, because he rocks back. I don't know what his times are, but he doesn't look like he's real quick to the plate.
Tampa's pen last year, we said, was revamped. They were 6th in earned run average and won their share of games, 24. He goes, swung on and missed, or lost his bat. Pierre safe at second. Vignac is saying that he tagged his foot. I didn't think Pierre got a good jump.
I think it was a hit and run.
I think you might have been right.
Yeah. Because when you swing at a pitch that's that far out of the strike zone, normally you're trying to protect the runner. Plus the count was 2-1, so and no jump. So all that indicates it's a hit and run.
Oh yeah.
So he's looking in the whole time. So they tried to play a little hit and run right there, and they wound up getting a stolen base out of it. See the infielder coming up that far. He may have gotten his foot.
It's a pretty good slide, though, too.
Yeah, a heck of a tag.
Well, now 2-2 with Pierre at second. In a 1-1 game, Phillies are trying to take the lead. Chopper right side. That'll get the runner over to third. It's going to be a tougher play than it may look, just because of Orr's speed and because the second baseman Johnson had to back up on it. But he gets the runner, so a runner at third, one man down. Pete Orr, he does his job.
Yeah, Orr's job here to hit the ball the right side. They're playing really deep up the middle, trying to make sure a ball doesn't get through. And as Tom said, you know, a little ping pong hop out there. Tough play for the second baseman Johnson.
So a runner at third. The Rays will play the infield in for Miguel Abreu. Abreu last year, 3 different levels for the Orioles. AA, AAA, and he also played a little bit down in Single A. And he taps that one foul. There you go. His combined numbers 243, 5 home runs, 44 runs batted in.
For a fly ball here.
He went a little deeper than that.
Yeah.
Phillies have left 7 so far. No, he went after a bad pitch. He'll run up the first base line. Molina looks the runner back to third. Bad pitch for Abreu. Good pitch for Fleming.
He got ahead of him and threw something off speed there. Got him the chase. Good job by Molina to call that. Knowing it's going to be in the dirt. Anticipated in the dirt. Breaking ball. Blocks it nicely. No panic. Make sure your pitcher covers the plate. And then you just say he's just looking back to make sure that plate's covered. And say, all right, now I'll go get the guy at first.
That'll leave it for Scott Pasetnik. He was the hero the other day with his game-winning home run in the bottom of the 9th inning. Base hit and the Phillies would have the lead. Not a bad idea. He's got the speed to beat out a bunt.
Right, and if you happen to get it by everybody, then it's up to the runner at third base to read it, and you may even be able to score on a play like that. That's just 2 veteran players right there knowing how to play the game. Bunt it to the right side, get it by the pitcher, you have the lead.
Good changeup. 1-2 the count. John Mayberry waits on deck for the Phillies. There he is. He came back with a similar pitch. Another changeup. Back-to-back strikeouts for Fleming. So the Phillies leave one over third. We've completed 7. Still locked up at 1 apiece. Is brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast, the official HD triple play provider of the Phillies. Well, they have the dog days of August. These are the dog days of spring training. The Phillies wind it down the next couple of days. Scott Pasenik stays in the ball game to play right field for the Phillies. That's because Victorino's still in the game, so he's in center field. Pasenik went down on strikes with Pierre over third to finish up the seventh. Joe Savory still in the game for the Phils. Cole Hamels started, went 5 2/3, struck out 7. Then Chad Qualls got the last out of the 6th. And then Savory pitched a 1-2-3 7th, and now he starts the top of the 8th. Johnson's 0 for 2. Shows bunt, takes a strike. Elliot Johnson last year, as we mentioned, hit 194 in 70 ball games for the Rays. Most of those games were over at shortstop. He played 52 games at short. And played 9 at second, played a little first base too. And now he's ahead 2-1. Rays have a pretty good prospect in Tim Beckham down in the minor leagues. He's a shortstop.
Another real high pick.
Yeah. Mentioned before, they have a lot of high players.
Is he a number 1?
Number 1.
Like real high number 1 too overall. Yeah.
That ball's hit well to right field. Pasenik going back, and he's not going to get there. It's a one hop off the wall. Pasenik cuts off Victorino and gets the throw in. Elliot Johnson's in scoring position to start the 8th. There are a good number of Rays fans here. You hear those cowbells.
Yeah. Got behind, looked like came in with a fastball and a good piece of hitting there. That ball was smoked to the gap in right center field. Now Jennings can do a lot of things with him, and if he bunts, you have to be careful because if you take too long, start thinking about getting cute with it, he'll beat it out. So I'm still third. He can really run.
1 for 3 today. Doubled his last time up. And he takes ball 1. It's pretty quick to pull the bat back.
Well, number one thing about bunting, they tell you, is you have to bunt. You try to bunt a strike. And in that case, you saw he had an odd strike.
And he bunts it toward first. It's a fair ball. It'll get the runner over to third. So the sacrifice is successful. 3 unassisted.
The Phillies will play it in now too, the way the Rays just did. It's the time of the game we normally would, even in an exhibition game. Good job by Jennings.
Phillies got that runner over to third also at the bottom of the 7th inning. After Pierre had started off with a single, stole second, went to third on a ground out, but they couldn't score. Phillies are 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. And Keppinger takes a strike. It's 0-1.
Guy's always been a really nice extra man for a team. I figure here's with Cincinnati, he can hit a home run once in a while.
Yeah, their DH this year is going to be Luke Scott, but I guess they can use him as the utility guy.
Well, Keppinger can play shortstop, and that's what you need from your utility guy.
Joe Maddon's got a lot of guys like that where he can move them around.
That's important, especially in the National League. Not as much in the American League, but in the National League we have to make more moves. Got a real veteran coaching staff too with Dave Martinez. Got silent George Hendrick over there at first base. Tom Foley, the third base coach.
Outside, 3-1.
Used to call George Silent George because back in his Cardinal days he wouldn't talk to the media.
He was scary good though.
Talk about a spread stance and a guy that didn't stride.
Ground ball towards second. Wigginson's got to play at the plate. The throw is a little offline, but he is out at the plate. They had to make sure Schneider had the ball.
That's what Isonia is looking for, because he blocked the plate pretty well there, and he knew the throw had beaten him, and the tag was down. Now where's the ball? Infield in. They're going to go in contact here. Wigginson's throw. See Brian's leg out there, so he made the base runner Johnson go around, and then he's reaching down.
That was a really good
on
play.
The ground, and that's what made him wonder, do you have the ball in the glove? There it is again. Makes a tag, and it's, oh, gee, close. Coming out of there.
That's a really good play by Schneider, because that's not a comfortable position that he put himself in.
Well, you have to try and kick him out, and the throw's to the right side, so you don't see the runner as well as if he's coming at you. If that ball's hit to the shortstop, well, you can really get ready and give some punishment then.
All right, so Savory is 1 out away from getting out of this jam here in the 8th. Evan Longoria, who homered back in the 4th. That's the only run for the Rays. Phillies' only run came off the bat of Schneider. And a fastball at the knees for a strike. Do you think Longoria's home run was going out?
It was so high, with that. No, but I guess, it looked like Cole tried to get back inside on him. He had done that earlier, and he was working him inside, and then he just couldn't quite get it far enough inside. Here's Brian Schneider doing a heck of a job sticking that leg out there. There's another look at it, and he's kicking Johnson off the plate. Johnson, to his credit, comes in with his feet. Well, you don't want to slide head first in the home plate. Not when the catcher's getting ready to get you.
1-2 the count.
That's a pretty good Nureyev he pulled there. That was some kind of split.
It sure was.
Especially for a guy his age, and with the hammy problems he had last year, it's a good sign.
Took him a little longer to get himself to his feet.
Yeah. Well, it would.
Now it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Longoria with a runner at first and 2 outs. Here at the top of the 8th. And a called strike 3. Fastball right on the outside part of the plate. Longoria goes down on strikes for the 3rd time this afternoon. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left, and a pretty good pitch from Joe Savory to take this ball game to the bottom of the 8th. One home run by Longoria, a home run by Schneider. We go to the bottom of the 8th. We're getting ready to go home. Murph, what's going on at Citizens Bank Park?
Well, that's right, Tom. Our time in Florida here is starting to come to an end. We'll all be back up in Philadelphia starting on Monday night. And some changes up there at the ballpark will await us, including some of the things the Phillies announced yesterday. Some new food items included, dessert alley, some cupcakes and milkshakes down at the ballpark. How about some new apparel? And yes, even something for the youngest of fans. The babies can now, guys, represent their favorite team. We have bibs and socks and, guys, yeah, even some diapers for the youngsters as well. A little bit of everything.
That's some great stuff. How about the dessert area that you were talking about, the donuts and the cupcakes? That's going to be pretty sweet. We got to keep Sarge out of there.
Yeah, we'll keep our eye on Sarge after the 6th inning.
All right. Well, thanks, Murph. We appreciate it. It's going to be good to get back home. Monday, the Phillies will begin the on-deck series against the Pirates Monday and Tuesday, as John Mayberry leads it off here in the bottom of the 8th. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Some changes for the Rays defensively. We'll get to those in just a second. Two and 1 the count. New catcher is Jake DePew, who takes over for Jose Molina. They brought 3 catchers with them this afternoon for this ball game. 2 and 1 the count. Little number over toward first. And Pena is able to take care of it to Fleming. 3-1 on the putout. Will Rhymes is their second baseman for the Tampa Bay Rays. At center field, Jesus Feliciano takes over for Desmond Jennings. Fleming's still out there. It's been Hellickson, who went 6+, allowed 7 hits and a run, and now Marquise Fleming. The Phillies, meanwhile, have Jonathan Papelbon warming up in the pen. Here's Shane Victorino. Swings at the first pitch, and he pops it up foul. That's playable for Longoria. That turns out to be an easier play than I thought. 2 outs. Victorino standing at home plate, wishing that didn't happen. And Luis Montañez will pinch hit for the Phillies. This is the pitcher spot, so you figure Montañez will come in to play the outfield. Whether they move Posednik to center or put Montañez in center, that'll be decided. And Papelbon will come on the pitch. This guy's had himself a good spring, and there's been speculation that he could make the team because it's another right-handed bat off the bench. Because there are certain cases where the Phillies could be very left-handed off the bench. One ball, 1 strike the count.
I can't wait for about 4 months to go by and see what happens. So many ifs.
Wheels, you got to soak in the moment. Don't let life speed you by.
Well,
but you are right.
Really? Of
at
all
that
the
point,
seasons.
at that point, you'd figure Ryan Howard will be back and Chase will be back.
And you know, hopefully they're going to be real effective when they come back. There's just so many if, ands, or buts for the end of the spring training. That
you think more so than years past?
Yeah, the key spots.
I think that's, last year we knew Chase wasn't with the team, but Ryan's now not with the team.
How about left field?
Yeah, left field was, left field Ibanez had last year.
Right. So there's a lot of stuff going on right now.
Ball's hit to shortstop, and Brignac is up with it. Phillies go down quietly in their half of the 8th. So Fleming's done a nice job. He's faced 6. He's retired all 6. We go to the 9th. 1-1 game as we head to the top of the 9th inning here at Bright House Field. Folks getting a chance to soak in one last bit of this ballpark. Maybe some are going home after this game. Jonathan Papelbon, well, he's in his 10th ball game this spring. He's got a win, an earned run average of 1, 7 strikeouts and 9 innings of work, and he'll be in here to pitch the 9th. And he'll face Ben Zobrist, Carlos Pena, and then the catcher's spot in a 1-1 ball game. Wills, what do you think so far from Pat? Pretty good, huh?
He's been real good. No, I don't know what he thinks, but, you know, just watching him, we haven't seen him. Well, we saw him on TV a lot, but, you know, how do you know until you're really around the guy and watch him? You know, to me, it looks like he's been able to use both his fastballs, throw his slider, and he's a really good split.
No other changes for the Phillies. We thought Montañez would stay in the ballgame and play the outfield, but Shane Victorino remains in the game. And he's in center field. This is the point in the spring where I think Charlie Manuel is trying to give some guys an off day or two. Pence never takes a day off. But Jimmy Rollins is off today. Maybe tomorrow it's Shane Victorino who has the day off when the Phillies head to Tampa to take on the Yankees.
Night game tomorrow. The only night game of the spring. Game. And that was a late addition, really. I think they added that January or February as a night game.
Here's Ben Zobrist to lead it off in the top of the 9th. Zobrist is 0 for 3. 5 strikeouts between the 3 and 4 hitters for the Rays.
Guys probably won't mind that tomorrow. You know, not. You know, there'll be certain guys who have to be over here and work out, and then they'll have the rest of the day off. But the guys are going to play.
Zobrist's numbers against Papelbon. Good spot. 1 ball and 1 strike. It's going to be really neat to see the matchups this year between the Rays pitching staff and when Andy Pettitte comes back and the Yankee pitching staff.
Yeah, they match up well with starting pitching.
I'm not saying that the Red Sox don't with Lester, Beckett, Bard, guys like that, Buchholz. But Jim Hickey has himself, I mean, you could say it's kind of like the Phillies. It's one of those dream staffs.
And it's young, very young.
1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Traded Matt Garza a couple of years ago to the Cubs, but they got back Chris Archer, who was a pretty good prospect. He's in the minor leagues. Look out. Oof. Fortunately, it grazed off somebody's glove, and there was an empty seat there. I think the other thing about what Jim Hickey did last year, you see what his starters numbers are, but as we said, their bullpen was totally revamped going into last year.
Amazing how they just almost everybody left, or they let them go, and then they had to start over. All those guys that the Phillies faced in the World Series, see ya.
1-2 the count. Another foul ball. We have not been given official word yet about whether this will be a 9-inning game, even if it's tied, or a 10-inning game. We'll let you know as soon as we find out. We did see some hand signals. They're important in this stage of the game.
Tom Foley went by the Phillies bench, and it looked like he put up 10, but maybe that little pinky was hidden and we couldn't see it.
Off the end of the bat, Abreu waits on it. It cost him the other day when he waited on a ball. Not this time. 1 out here in the top of the 9th. Here comes Carlos Pena.
Carlos Pena was a big-time player in the major leagues, but after that movie came out, Moneyball, a lot of people knew more about Carlos Pena.
It's Carlos Pena, Scott Hatterberg, guys like that. Pena hitting 108 this spring. He's 0 for 3 today.
Had 84 RBIs, hitting 196 for these guys in 2010, 2010.
Well, look at he and Reynolds both.
Yeah.
He and Reynolds.
Well, they can air out some ballparks now with those swings. They strike out a lot.
Reynolds in 2010, 85 runs batted in. He hit 198. Pena 84 runs batted in, hit 196.
And you don't have the strikeouts there. They're enormous number of strikeouts.
Well, and then if you think about the top 4 RBI totals with a batting average under 200, Reynolds, Pena, Rob Deere in 91.
He can strike out.
And Mark McGuire back in 2001.
Rob Deere. Boy, could he swing and miss.
When he connected, it would go.
Oh, he hit some long ones.
It's got to leave a manager frustrated, wouldn't you think?
Well, it's all or nothing at all.
0-2 the count to Pena. 4 for 37 this spring. Fly ball left field. Juan Pierre stammers around. That one was hit way up there.
That's a big league pop-up. That's a home run hitter's fly ball.
And 2 outs. It leaves it for Will Rhymes.
Wind blowing in a little bit from left field today. Wind hasn't been a big factor in this game, but there's days when that ball's blowing, when the wind's blowing at her, that's in the back of the bullpen. As high as that was.
Well, after the home run Longoria hit, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I think he hit that pretty well. Because I don't know that he got any help. Boy, Cole Hamels was so good today.
Rhymes last year played for the Tigers. Saw the bullpen action for the Rays.
Ryan Reed,
who was up earlier, is up again. Rhymes played 29 games for the Tigers last year. 54 the year before. He hit 304. He was the Tigers' opening day second baseman last year. Signed as a minor league free agent. Boy, things change so fast. You could be the opening day second baseman for one team and then be left to be picked up by another team. Took until January before he was picked up. You know what college you went to, Wheels?
No. Give me a hint.
It's in the Colonial Athletic Association. That's the same college conference as Drexel.
Somewhere in Virginia?
Yes.
Commonwealth?
I don't know the landscape. I'll say yes.
I don't know.
Greg Murphy just chimed in with George Mason.
Where'd he go?
He went to the College of William and Mary.
Oh, okay.
Good school.
Yeah, it's Virginia.
Yep.
The first university in the United States of America, or college it was, not university, but college. That comes from Ray Tipton, who has been our director, producer at times, and confidant and friend for many years. And when he gives you something, you can usually go to the bank on.
Put it in the book.
Yep. And if not, you can blame him.
He doesn't mind that.
No, he's good. He's comfortable with that.
Matt Joyce has the count, no balls and 1 strike. And he takes low, 1-1.
Nothing like a comfort level with yourself.
Well, the College of William and Mary is a beautiful campus. Gorgeous.
What city's it in?
Isn't it Williamsburg?
Williamsboro. Well, that tells you why. That's a beautiful city.
Great baseball facility named for the Plumeri family of Trenton, New Jersey.
Nice.
On the inside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Does that have something to do with the monarchy and the English monarchy, those names William and Mary?
I would assume it does.
Virginia?
Yeah, I would
First.
assume it does.
Okay, we covered it. That's good. That was good. You can tell it's an exhibition game.
Rhymes leads off first. Pitches outside, 2-2. Jonathan Papelbon from Mississippi. 2-2 the count.
He sounds like it.
Runner goes. Pitch is taken low. Schneider's throw not in time. Rhymes is in scoring position here in the top of the ninth, and it's 3-2 to Matt Joyce.
Pitch is down in the zone. Good jump there by Rhymes. And steals the bag. Now here's where Papelbon can decide who he wants. This guy, or start over with a hitter he really knows on deck in Brignac.
He decides to go after him.
He did. He threw him a fastball.
Came inside. It remains 3-2.
And he would know Joyce too, because Joyce played a lot last year.
Yeah, last year was the first year that Joyce was an everyday player.
So you're at a point in the game which is rare in a game in Florida, where you're in the ninth inning.
Well, they're trying to get him a game where he's got the lead and it's like a save.
And not only that, but he knows the hitters.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Most of the time, the guys that are coming up right now are, wearing 85. And you're dealing with two major league players now, the guy at the plate and on deck.
The count 3 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Got him. Came back with a split. Leaves a runner in scoring position. No runs, no hits. 1 man left. And Jonathan Papelbon will take this ball game to the bottom of the ninth. It's a 1-1 game. Bottom of the ninth inning, we're tied at 1. The Phillies have had just the 1 home run by Brian Schneider. They have, though, had a pretty good defensive play by Jim Thome. It's our WB Mason delivery of the game, and the big guy was moving quite well over at first base on this hot shot.
Yeah, this was a great play that Thome's made right here. And then he got a laugh from his teammates when he started to swim right after that. There's the play. Really good play to his left. Flips it, and then starts to run to the bag, and then, whoops. They were laughing about that.
Well, it's good to have him back in Phillies red pinstripes, and that is our WB Mason delivery of the game.
Yeah, that was a play you wonder if he could ever make a play like that. And, that's just total reaction. The ball's hit so hard, you dive, and to go in your glove or not.
A couple changes for the Tampa Bay Rays. The new right fielder is Kevin Kiermaier, or excuse me, it is Jeff Salazar. And Ryan Reed is the new pitcher. Reed, 7 games, 2.45 earned run average. So Salazar takes over in right. Reed is on the hill. Wigginton is the scheduled hitter.
They don't have another pitcher up, but that doesn't mean this guy can't go too.
They do have other pitchers on the roster that are available today. In fact, they have 1, 2, 3 more. Wigginton takes inside. Last year, Reed made it to AAA for the first time. He's been in the Rays system for 6 years. 26 games for Durham. He was 1-1 with a 4.55 earned run average. 2-0 the count.
He hooks it a little bit. A little bit of a short arm delivery. One of those guys looks like he jumps at the hitter a little bit.
He comes from James Madison University, where he was a 7th-round selection. Wiggins hit that one right on the nose. Brainiac shaded over toward the hole, makes the play. I don't think I've ever seen that kind of defensive shift against Wiggins.
No. Well, it was certainly a pull defense. That's a terrific play by Brainiac. We mentioned hasn't been playing much. He's had a sore hip. And I think it's the first time he's played in 2 weeks.
I think you're right. Well, now Brian Schneider. Now the Phillies do have bullpen action. They have B.J. Rosenberg throwing, so that'll lead us to believe that if this game is tied, we'll go to the 10th.
The pinky was not hidden when Tom Foley put up the 2 hands. It was 10.
There's Rosenberg up from the minor league camp. Schneider's accounted for the only run for the Phils, a home run. That was back in the 5th. And the count is no balls and 2 strikes. Tuffy Goswitch is still in the dugout for the Phillies. He's another one of the catchers that they have. 0-2 the count to Schneider. Inside and low, 1-2. Saw Carlos Ruiz taking some ground balls over in third base today. Does that often during BP.
He likes to do that. Former infielder. Never knew he'd get in one of those 20-inning games.
Came in last year. Didn't he play third? The year before?
He has done it since he's been with the Phillies, yes.
He'll sometimes take ground balls at third, sometimes take them at short, too. Sometimes guys just do that to, loosen themselves up, get some cardio. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Down the left field line. That ball is shot, and that ball is a fair ball. It kicks around a little bit, and that'll enable Schneider to get into scoring position.
Charlie will look up and down his bench right now and say, I got to get me a runner now. Who's it going to be? Brian does a good job here taking this pitch away and just lining it down the left field line for an extra base hit.
Well, Tuffy Goswitch is going to pinch run.
I think it was fair by plenty. Oh, yeah. And then bounces into the corner.
So good day for Brian. Made a nice play at the plate. 2 hits, including a home run, and now he's put the Phils in position to maybe win this one in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Catcher running for a catcher.
A quicker catcher.
Quicker catcher. That's like an oxymoron, isn't it? No offense to the catchers, just kidding.
Juan Pierre singled his last time up. Takes a strike. It's 0-1.
Tough to score, not only because Tuffy, is in a great runner, but Juan Pierre, they really cheat in on him in the outfield because he doesn't drive the ball.
I have to admit, though, they're deeper in right and left than I thought.
Much deeper than they should be in left. Absolutely too deep in left, but good.
One ball, 1 strike to count.
I understand a little bit on the pull side, but not to left and left center. And you see the defense.
Ryan Reed averaged nearly a strikeout per innings pitched last year. It's been near that for most of his career. Opposite way, base hit into left field. Goswitch is going to be held at third. Juan Pierre is 2 for 2.
Boy, does that look like Juan Pierre? Boy, the guy made a living doing that.
One of the reasons why Charlie wanted him to come to camp. He likes that kind of style.
Well, I've seen so much of that from him over the years. He's not going to pull the ball that often. Juan Samuel, of course, right away holding him up with it because we pointed out the left fielder was shallow. Maybe not as shallow as you thought. Now here comes Madden. Last year in a game here, he played a 5-man infield.
Well, he came out to talk to Dan Iasonia. He's not making a change with the pitchers.
I'm telling you, he did. He played a 5-man infield.
All right, this is what he's going to bring Keppinger in, so no more DH for the Rays. So Keppinger will come in and be one of the extra infielders, I would guess, and Matt Joyce is going to come out of the game. So I guess the pitcher will bat in Joyce's spot. I don't think he can do that.
I don't know, but I hope we don't have to find out.
I thought that. Well, scurry around for your rule books.
Go with the old 5-man infield in the spring training game.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, Kepinger's the DH.
Right.
So he's DHing for the pitcher.
I think what happens when you do this, don't you lose your DH?
Well, you do.
Yeah. I'm not up on the DH rules, but that part. Charlie saying the last time I saw a 5-man infield, I think it was in spring training last year.
So the pitcher will bat 7th. Keppinger is the technically the new left fielder, but he's going to play over near second base. Rhymes, the second baseman, is about 3 feet from the bag. There's Keppinger with the beard closest to us. There's Rhymes.
They could throw pitches out of the strike zone now to Ord too, and see if he'll chase, and then go with a Bray with the bases loaded.
So Pierre leads off first. Go switch off third. First and third with 1 out. And the ball gets away from the catcher, and that's going to allow Go switch. No, it's hit by pitch. Orr was hit by that pitch.
That's why nobody chased.
I was wondering why Depew didn't go after the ball. The bases are loaded. Then I assume you didn't call it right away.
Yeah, here it is. It hits him right on the foot. Breaking ball.
Oh, yeah.
Back foot breaking ball that hit him on the front foot. There's another look. Pete's an old hockey player, so he just stood there.
Well, Jim Hickey's going to come out to the mound. There's nobody warming up.
All the drama we have here.
You know, the Rays have always done some interesting things with Joe Maddon as their manager. Last year, in a game, he had Sam Fuld come out to warm up as a pitcher, and then decided to make a change at the pitcher's position. Well, because of that, Rule 3.05 has been amended. A manager is prohibited from sending his current pitcher out to warm up with no intention of having him pitch because a relief pitcher is not ready to enter the game. So he sent Sam Fuld out.
You got to be innovative to have the rule book changed after something you do, right?
So the Sam Fuld rule is what they call it. And the Phillies will counter the 5-man infield with Hector Luna, who will pinch hit for Miguel Abreu. So you got a guy that has a little more pop, that can get a fly ball.
Right, and they only have 2 outfielders.
It's like playing a game in your backyard, Wheels.
Is that what this is?
Except the right field's not automatically out.
No. Right field right now is automatically the game's over because there's nobody out there.
Bases are loaded. Luna's won a game earlier in the spring for the Phils, and he takes inside. It's 1-0. Hector Luna, who went over to play left field the other day in a minor league game.
Well, he'll pull the ball normally.
Gives it a breaking ball, 1-1.
He's not going to stand up there taking a whole lot of pitches. He is a wild swinger. Makes a lot of contact. We'll see. He's probably going to see some breaking balls.
And because he pulls so much, Rhymes is now on the shortstop side of the diamond.
If he were a left-handed hitter, they might put the third guy on the other side.
Opposite way, and the Phillies win the ball game for the second time this spring. Hector Luna with a game-winning hit. Tuffy Go Switch scores. The Phillies win it 2-1.
There wasn't much room to get that thing through. That was amazing. And the reason they put the 3 guys on the other side is he hardly ever hits the ball the right side.
Well, they try as much strategy as possible in these spring training games. There was obviously some going on with Joe Maddon. And then Charlie Manuel countered with Hector Luna to pinch hit. And the Phillies win it over the Rays.
Here comes Luna again. We just talked about the fielders on the right side, or the left side. Got a fastball up a little bit. He didn't hit it real hard, but look how he just found the hole over there. The first baseman was way off the line, too. That was amazing that he got that thing through that spot.
Well, I mentioned he won a game earlier this spring with a base hit to left field. Now he wins one this afternoon with a base hit to right field. So the Phillies win it today 2-1. Great pitching this afternoon by the starters, Cole Hamels and Jeremy Hellickson. And the Phillies, for the second straight game here at Bright House Field, win it in the bottom of the ninth inning. Brian Schneider had a heck of a day today for the Phillies, not only defensively but also offensively, and he's with Greg Murphy.
Yeah, that's right, Tom. The Duke, two big hits from the bat of Brian Schneider today. First the home run and the big double to get that rally started in the ninth inning. So obviously feeling comfortable up at the plate today, huh?
More comfortable. You try to get as many at-bats as you can during spring, and hopefully you get some timing down. And I felt a lot more comfortable at the plate today.
You also got a chance to see Cole Hamels throw for 5 2/3, and from my vantage point, he certainly looked good. You had a better seat. How was Cole today?
He looked real good today. He's looked good too the last couple, and it's about building their arm strength up, getting those pitch counts up, and I know a lot of us we're looking forward to playing some night games.
Yeah, and I was going to say just 3 more down here in Florida, and then you go back north and they start to count for real. You guys are ready for that?
Absolutely. You're ready for some cool weather. Go up there to Philly, get there with the fans, and it's going to be a lot of fun this year.
All right, thanks a lot, Brian. Brian Schneider, 2 hits today, and they were big ones, guys.
All right, Murph, thank you very much. And his block of the plate was outstanding too. Cut down what could have been the second run for the Tampa Bay Rays. So the Phillies win it 2-1 on a base hit by Hector Luna. The opposite way in the bottom of the ninth inning. We'll be back right after this.